fancy. By we, I mean Philip.
Is that a Sony?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
They're actually not
I hear
terribly expensive.
I hear good things about those. I
really
think I
like
wanted one when I was like a senior in high school. I wanted one so bad.
The only thing that was kind of stupid is it didn't come with a lens, so you had to buy a lens. And
A Sony.
I just got basically the cheapest basic lens.
For what?
For
This
the
camera.
Sony
Oh.
Because when you buy this
DSLR.
camera, it doesn't come with
It's just a digital camera.
Yeah. It's a mirrorless one.
It's
Which
got good
makes
aperture though, right? Or not aperture, but whatever you call it.
It's...
Like low light. You can shoot low light with
I
it.
mean, it seems pretty good on here. The thing that's nice is, versus my other camera...
I done messed this up.
Did you not?
I was supposed to heat up the water, put this in. I was just gonna rinse the leaves off.
Okay.
It doesn't just hardly.
But... as
You know
I was
what?
saying, because I have my other camera, but the thing is it doesn't work for streaming. You can stream with it, but it will only do it for 30 minutes, and then it shuts off.
I have a similar problem with my Canon.
Whereas this one doesn't.
It's a Canon,
do that.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a
Canon
problem with
does
that with Canon, yeah. It's
But with-
you can't shoot a full movie in one take. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
It's why? I don't understand.
I'll have space even. And it's battery.
Well, especially when you're
Who cares?
plugging it in. You can have it. I could have my wall adapter plugged in and have my HDMI thing outputting, and it'll just be no, I'm done. It's I don't get it. Whereas this one, it can just go on forever.
We're doing
Theoretically,
a bunch of shenanigans.
supposedly it can overheat, but
Probably
it
not doing
doesn't even
this.
feel like it gets warm. So I don't know what.
I just love
that's
how
about.
portable it looks.
No, it's very compact. So it's great for this setup.
I've never actually brought a black tea, but I have one that would that's super, super, super good. Compared to a...
Spew.
I just...
That's where the water came from.
Yeah, it was me the whole time. It was me in the past. In the
In
future.
the future.
It's some paradox in...
You ever dump water on your past?
Get in there. You. This is shenanigans over here.
You did it
I did it the absolute
the
worst,
hard way.
hardest.
You put it in the little. Did you just put it right into the thing?
Yeah, well,
Not even into the mesh.
Well, no, but I'm supposed to put in the thing for this. You'll see why.
Okay.
But there's a step first, which is to rinse it because that'll make it less bitter. Because I'm gonna let it sit in there forever, and otherwise it's gonna be real bitter. There are reasons. I'm just being real dumb about it.
You're the tea guy.
That's right. I'm so.
Though I need to go get more tea from Tea Lady.
Where is Tea Lady?
Tea Lady's
He's literally right next to Chom. So it's
Business
right there.
hours?
normal.
Just
Normal
normal
business
business
Although
hours.
half the time she's. I mean, I don't know how much business she gets, but half the time
I've seen people
She's
going
not
in
there.
Yeah, I've gone a bunch of times
And she's just not even there.
She's not there.
That's fair.
It's just locked in the middle of the day. Although I think she usually is. Sometimes I've given it a light knock and she's come, but other times I just leave.
There we go. That's more light.
I can't even believe how big that chat monitor is.
Well, before it was you could not see it
You couldn't
because
see
it was
it.
it was on one screen. It was this big, so I could see it okay. And then Casey couldn't see it.
could
at all.
do This is a
So
whole
now
production.
it's gigantic.
It's cool.
It's like a goofy ghetto little production, but it's
It's pretty good.
Okay.
I feel if you had one other guy and two other cameras, you'd have a whole show.
yeah. We'd have the biggest
Be a-
show that has one viewer in the whole world.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is the production's there.
That's an interesting idea for have like a really high production like podcast, but it's on YouTube and it's like just unlisted, and you only send out a link to like one random person.
Word of mouth.
it's, like the viewership's always like very low, but that's the whole point.
I can't even
it's
help
like
myself.
It's like a private podcast stream with just like one person in the chat, and you're just like kind of interacting with that one person.
The hipster in me really likes that idea.
No, people.
You make no money on it.
People need
that
podcasting more than they need to consume podcasts, because technically we're lacking human interaction and community compared to different times, and in my opinion, and
yeah, for sure,
and especially men. So that's why you have a lot of men doing podcasts, and that sounds really like corny that, you know, dominantly men like to get together and do podcasts, but they need that.
Well, it's like
you're
doing. Like, well, it's also something where you're not just talking. There's like an element of like, oh, you're doing something. Like it feels productive.
It does.
Whether it is or isn't, it's like.
No, if you're talking, like, where are you even going?
Yeah.
No, like recording is like.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
You're doing something.
You're doing something.
Yeah, dude. I hadn't even thought about like the men's side of that. The community thing's been like a little pet thought of mine for ages.
I mean, it's kind of a running theme in general with stuff that we've talked about.
Yeah.
Oh, community in general?
In a way, I mean, less...
It's gotten weird
lately,
since COVID.
Some of the discussions we had pre-streaming stuff were much more focused on that. Which they're recorded.
They are recorded.
On like a SD card somewhere.
That's crazy. I want to hear your old recorded discussions on community.
No, I just need to.
We're gonna put.
You'd have to just like upload them on here.
We're like, you can only have these, Eliza, if.
Put up a paywall for it. Like, Eliza, you have to pay us money to.
I like the idea of it being accessible though. Like where, like, if we're going on a long drive, we could just listen to pre-recorded stuff.
What was I gonna say?
You ever just want to listen to a podcast, but you don't know where to start? But your buddies have this Dropbox or something, and there's a recording from like 5 years ago about community.
I was learning about like men's clubs in London, just because I was curious, and because at first I was like, what do you even do? And he was like, oh, well, you go and you have dinner, you might like sit in the spot, and you might like read quietly. And I was like, oh, that sounds nice, but why would I like need a place? And then I thought about it, because it's kind of like what you just said. I hadn't really like given a whole lot of thought, and I was like, oh, it'd be kind of nice. You might have some friends.
Yeah. True.
Like you'd be there with like some buddies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
because I was like, oh, that sounds nice, just because I have kids and I love to like sit quietly.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Well, it's kind of
you kind of need to leave to do that.
It's the experience we had like with the animation lab.
Yeah.
Where when you're in there, you're not always interacting with the people around you. Like you're usually working on something.
It's like parallel.
But there's something very nice, like
yeah,
having like a friend just hanging around, and every once in a while you might like ask them something. You like, you could get feedback on something, or you just be like, "Oh, I had this thought," or "I saw this interesting movie," or something.
Yeah,
like there's just kind of
nice chat.
Yeah.
I was talking to Justin and Eliza. We were at a nature park. It's just like a little conservation area in Pleasant Grove, and they were talking about how it was like a nice area, and how like if it was in the area that they live in now, you know, over in SF or San Jose or wherever they are, I don't know where they are, like it would be packed with people reading and doing yoga and like, you know, recording TikToks and just like taking naps, and like people would be there. But here, like around here, like you don't really see, like like places that people
Yeah.
can occupy, like publicly. There's not like a public play space for adult people. There's the gym and there's a bar, which are very different things, but those are kind of your options. And I mean, there's recreation and whatever, but just like doing nothing, but like kind of parallel play with humans.
Mm-hmm.
San Carlos and on the peninsula. Thank you.
Hey.
This chat is so cool, guys. There's this big monitor, a sideways monitor that is just huge with the chat. So please blow up the chat. Whoever tunes in.
Eliza does blow up the chat.
Eliza, no,
Eliza, get everybody
she's
in.
the chat.
Whatever. Eliza's the only one we need.
She already knows
Okay.
what the setup is. She's here.
I
She
I
was
want
here
more
to
people. I
experience
want more people here. I want it to feel chaotic, but
The most chaotic we had was actually when Eliza was here because we had
yeah, everyone
we
was
had,
on,
like-
wasn't?
yeah we had
We were on our way
more.
home from the show.
yeah we had more people chatting than we were like concerned like oh there's gonna be nobody because she's the one person that's always in the chat.
Yeah. But Eliza's
You are the chat.
snack for tonight is Moroccan tea, which is, I guess, the way they do it in Morocco. But I want to do this for a while because it just sounds tasty.
It sounds.
It's just with mint.
Mint.
Morocco. You know, I saw a movie about Morocco. It was called
Morocco's modern life.
what is it? Qatar or something. I forget. But it has Dustin Hoffman and another guy, and they're like, oh, speaking of music, they're amateur songwriters, and they get a booking agent after losing their girlfriends and their apartments and like basically everything, and he sends them to Morocco to play gigs, and they get caught up in like political war shenanigans on accident, and it's like.
Happens.
And it was directed by a woman in the 80s, and it actually flopped. It didn't make any money. Like, they were in the hole. And it was made because Dustin Hoffman and this co-director owed this female director a favor. So this movie was kind of built on a favor, but I love it. It totally flopped, but I loved it. Because they're just singing bad songs the whole movie. But, like, they're in the middle of the desert. Yeah. Bad
It was
songs.
fun. Casey's
This is
got
this,
a whole
So I'm gonna think about
processor.
them while drinking Moroccan tea.
What was it called?
Moroccan tea.
No, the
Oh.
I think it's called Qatar, but I should
Qatar?
figure it out.
It's called Qatar, but it's set in
Don't ask questions.
Dustin
In
Hoffman Morocco movie. I'm googling it.
You saw that spill? No, not on camera.
Ishtar. Sorry.
Ishtar. Oh, I think I've heard of that.
1987
I've heard of
American
Ishtar.
Yeah.
adventure comedy film written and directed by Elaine May, produced by Warren Beatty, who co-stars opposite Dustin
Oh,
Hoffman.
Warren Booty or whatever.
Yeah, Warren Beatty. And, yeah. It's actually shot at Kaufman Astoria Studios in various locations. Tell me more about the locations. It was shot in Morocco and New York. Nice.
The real Morocco.
There was actually a lot of disagreement on set, and I think it led to like a really confusing feeling in the movie. And I am obsessed with the confusing feeling of the movie. It feels like David Lynch. It feels so cool.
We're all David Lynch fans.
I don't know if I am actually friends with anyone that is not a David Lynch fan. I feel like I've just surrounded myself with the kind of people that would appreciate David Lynch films.
Ow, ow.
Are you
Don't-
just
don't-
burning yourself?
Don't mind me
That's the one problem with this
with the lid.
pot.
And I'm not using
That's
like
the
a.
reason I got it at Ross.
It's kind of
It's
Lynchian.
the one-
Burning yourself on tea over a red cloth.
Oh yeah.
We're getting there.
Do you
We
think
need, like
we're...
a red curtain in the
Wait,
background?
oh yeah, I was gonna say, are we gonna summon him?
You can.
And he'd be like, hello!
Lynch! Wait, how did you summon him?
Oh, I don't know. I was just, he was being summoned, and I was like, hello! He would just be like, is that coffee? And be like, well, no, it's tea. And he's like, okay. And then he like poof away.
Yeah.
Have a nice day. I've never done a Lynch impression, but I
Here's
kind
a
of...
Lynch impression.
I was gonna
a
say,
decent one.
I feel like it's a pretty good
Today is Friday, May 24th, 2024. The temperature is 48 degrees. You guys see he did that on his Instagram for a while?
Yeah, I've seen the...
He did the weather updates every day.
Weather. Yeah.
Why? It was just Lynchian, just the fact that he did it over and over, I feel. I guess anything he does is Lynchian because he is Lynch.
Yeah. He does what he wants.
What is Justin even doing?
Or Justin's brother, his brother lived in Morocco for about a year.
Why?
I don't know.
For fun.
Tell us why, chat.
Justin's not listening, so he can't say.
Yeah.
But wouldn't Eliza know? Eliza, do you know?
She can't know because he was... Why would you be in Morocco if you were not a spy?
That's the only reason.
Yeah,
Actually,
so I shouldn't be asking.
It's the place where all
I
the
shouldn't be
spies hang
asking.
out.
Actually, apparently... The reason that I was reminded about this and why this existed is because I was watching like a thing on... sorry, I was deciding how long to make this boring story.
A Fellowship of the Ring, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was looking at a thing on
his way to Mordor.
Mordor's like in the middle of the desert.
So what did he
in,
do?
like, Algeria.
Yeah.
He went there and he didn't talk for a year. Almost a year.
He didn't talk at all.
He didn't talk. He didn't speak once. Didn't even show his face once. Didn't need to.
Wasn't part of the gig.
He's just wearing a cloth the whole time.
It's the sheet. It's just like a ghost costume for Halloween.
Sometimes I just want to wear a ghost costume and not talk for almost a year. I had a weird week. I kind of was in that mood this week.
Your ghost costume mood?
Ghost costume and not talk to anybody mood. Teacher of animal husbandry. What a cool gig.
Dude, it's kind of...
I don't think I have a single brother that did anything that weird.
How many brothers do you have?
I don't know. 3?
You don't know.
I lose count sometimes.
It's complicated.
I just say I don't know because I'm just like...
How many of your brothers go to Morocco?
No, I only have 4 brothers.
Mm.
Only. I have a
I only
frick
have
ton of
one.
sisters.
One brother, one sister.
You got me though.
Hey, me too.
Yeah.
Let's see. Animal husbandry. So what is that like?
Just like taking care of animals,
oh.
basically.
Making sure animals have good
I
husbands.
thought it was like making sure that animals are good husbands
Yeah.
and mating properly.
I mean,
Well,
in a way.
That's
yeah.
part of it. Part
you
of
have
the
to
gig.
talk to him and be like, listen, like you gotta
Your
do
marriage
you
counselor
gotta
for
do the
animals.
dishes
You
sometimes.
gotta do it sometimes.
And the sheep is like, "Meh. I just want to go to the gentleman's club.
Yeah. I was gonna say something about a sheep, but maybe not on a podcast. Piper knows what I'm talking about. It was that movie we saw where the guy was talking about how much he loved a sheep.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I need to know. It was called A Night on Earth.
Wait, A Night to Remember.
A Walk to Remember.
That was a good one.
But that movie was about 5 different time zones and followed cab rides in each time zone. And it went throughout the night, up until 5 in the morning. At each hour
was it
of the
good?
night. It was really good. It
Yeah,
was insanely good.
When movies
Has
do stuff
Winona
like
Ryder in it. It's on the Criterion Collection.
when movies do stuff like that and they get away with it, it's awesome.
Oh, I loved that movie. You guys should see it. It's so good.
But this isn't the movie one.
I know.
We're doing music. You're not
Oh,
even.
sorry.
You've talked about 2 movies and 0 musics.
Piper and I have been watching so many movies lately.
maybe this is just movies part 2.
No, we can do whatever.
I already have a music thumbnail with
This is
spot
good.
the things.
You got a couple Beatles on there. I was just
got
talking about
Beatles,
how you have
Musings,
Takanaka
and Depeche
ripping.
Mode and
Depeche Mode.
Ancient Guy.
Ancient guy. Wait.
The London.
I gotta go
Symphony
all the way over here to look.
Orchestra,
Oh, there's even.
And that looks like a fun party.
This is
Yeah.
This is music night. This is music
that
night.
Renaissance painting looks like a good time.
It does. Like, it makes me wonder what tunings they're using.
It's probably insane because the lute has like 12 strings on it.
Yeah, and there's 3 of them, dude.
Dude,
You don't need 3 guitars. The Beatles understood that. Speaking of, you got them
no
up
one's
there.
got like a fiddle or something.
Oh, okay. So you got rhythm and lead and rhythm. I don't know.
Like playing lute would be crazy because like the neck is like 6 inches long. So how does? I guess it has so many strings.
It's like playing a violin.
You don't necessarily need
uke.
like a long neck to get all the notes because you just. It's like
Just
wider.
1 octave or whatever. Not 1 octave, but you know.
Wait,
Whatever it is.
is
I
my
don't
mic
know. I don't-
still alive?
What?
I just like flipped a bunch of switches on accident.
It looks like it's working.
Okay. I
Is
thought
the-
I
you
thought I
can
put
look in-
I thought I put them back to where they were, but my hand was just like.
If it's pushed up, it should be on.
Anyway, you guys can keep talking about lutes. It's music night.
It's music night. So why Depeche Mode, Philip?
I don't know. It was on the mind.
I mean, Depeche
I
Mode's
was
pretty
listening
groovy.
to Depeche Mode earlier this week. That's why.
Do you think it was subconscious from you seeing the Postal Service cover Depeche Mode?
It wasn't subconscious.
Okay.
It was deliberate.
Was
okay.
it unconscious?
But you did see the Postal Service
Yeah.
cover Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
Piper
It made
also
me
saw
wanna-
this.
Listen to some earlier this week.
Good.
and
I
it was
watched
pretty
a-
great.
That's funny. Like a week ago, I watched a thing where the guy like broke down all of the synth usage in like. Oh my gosh, what's the song called? A Depeche Mode song. And
There's lots of those.
I know.
I'm going to try to keep my Spotify open right now.
Hold on, it's.
Enjoy the silence.
It
Yep, enjoy
probably-
the
yeah.
silence.
Which is the song that
Yeah.
Postal Service covered.
Yeah, and
That's
talking
like-
about how they had to, with the synth they had to get the effects throughout the show, they had to insert the floppy disk repeatedly because they were swapping out.
Oh,
They were swapping out the effect on the board.
yeah.
Oh, they were layering settings? Or layering
No,
effects?
the
Or-
thing could only.
You could only do so much, so you have to like swap. it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had to put in a whole new floppy disk in order for it to do like Celestia bells or whatever.
Yeah.
It feels like you have to invent a new way to make music to make a good song. Because, like, the Beatles invented half of everything that we listen to today. And, like, no, they didn't really invent it. They just kind of, like, made it a good sandwich out of it. And, like, yeah, that's weird. Depeche Mode. You should send me that link.
Yeah, no, I can definitely
Actually,
find it.
I could just look it up.
Yeah.
Probably.
Um.
I like track breakdowns. I'm obsessed.
So, I was gonna say, music is like a magical mystery to me. But like a month ago, I was trying real hard to learn about like ambient stuff because I was like very interested. And I was like, I could probably make some of this. The problem is I don't have time. Like zero
Yeah.
time.
I
Once I
understand.
brought the
The
keyboard.
Yeah,
over.
you gave me the like little MIDI keyboard. And Brian Eno, like a whole bunch of people have detailed like track breakdowns of how he did what he did, which is funny because now it's super easy with computers, but back in the day he was like winding like a mile of tape just around his house.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said he was just like winding it around like chair legs and stuff, so that you know, because it's like all of these different like overlapping like repeating whatever tracks.
Yeah.
Man, see, this is the problem with music. I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, but when you say he like had tape running throughout his whole house, that's insanity. That's crazy. But it makes sense because you're just trying to stretch sound.
And it's
with
just
ambient music, so.
And it's just, I mean, it's like what you were just saying. Like, as I was listening to that, and as I was listening to like modern stuff, I was like, oh, people really haven't like innovated on this a whole lot. It's almost like he invented all of it.
He invented all of it, and we made pedals to replicate the sounds he invented, the effects he invented, basically.
Yeah. And so I just thought of it because of what you just said. I was like, oh, yeah. Like, he did something really different, and it's like a whole genre now, and it hasn't really gone anywhere. Not in like a bad way. A lot of people make cool ambient music.
It's true.
Well,
I heard an interview with him where he talked about how, yeah, ambient music is not like, it shouldn't be lazy music or whatever. It's just like, it's almost more difficult than like making like a Beatles pop track, in my opinion, because you have to get the tones just right, and it's like most of your songwriting is at that point production, so you have to be inventive, and you have to be an engineer. So it's like, it's really weird. And then you can easily make bad ambient music.
you can easily make
you listen to it,
any kind of music.
It just puts you in a bad headspace though, because it's so ambient. It puts you in your own thoughts. You know, that's kind of what ambient music does.
Yeah,
and it can wreck that atmosphere if the tones are bad.
Yeah, no, totally. Because I really that's why I wanted to make some, because I really like it.
Yeah.
And the good stuff, like he's got one called Neroli, but it's called like the subtitles Music for Thinking, and it's so good for thinking.
Good.
Like it actually, like when I first listened to it, I was like, huh, wow, he did it. Like exactly what he said.
Mm-hmm. He also made one, music for airports or something?
Yeah. That was like our lullaby music once, or for little Madeline when she was like a little kid, or like a baby.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Is there's this record that Brian Eno produced for Laraji. Have you heard of Laraji?
No.
He was like a New York guy that traded in a guitar for a what is that instrument he uses? Do you know Laraji? It's where it, like, you tap on the strings, kind of like it sounds like a piano, and you tap on the strings on a piano.
Like a dulcimer?
Dulcimer.
Yeah.
He plays a dulcimer, but he would use phaser and delay and reverb on it. And Brian Eno produced one of his records. And yeah, like Piper said, it puts Elliot to sleep. Brian Eno only puts Elliot to sleep through Laraji's music because he produced that album. Sorry to fact check you, but it's true. No, I mean, that record wouldn't exist without him. So yeah,
good to know.
And when we would tell like the voice command to play it, we would have to say Brian Eno because it credits Brian Eno, but it wouldn't understand Laraji, even though it's technically by Laraji.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's silly. But he does it best.
The dulcimer, though. So here's this like weird thing that's happened now in recent years, as I guess grown up, I don't know, is that I like have instruments that I'm like, wow, I love that instrument. But the flute and the dulcimer, I'm like,
flute's great.
It's just, I've never thought that in my whole life until like very recently, where I'll like hear like a song with like a dulcimer and I'm like, oh, that's so pretty.
Yeah.
Or like
like, why aren't more songs using
yeah.
this?
Right.
or like a flute song, and I'm just like, wow, flute. So that's like a weird music thing.
My favorite bands use flute. My favorite bands have flute players in them. Like, there's this band, Pearl and the Oysters. Piper and I have been compared to them, and every time that's
And
been
"We
said
don't
to
have
us,
a
I'm
flute
like,
player."
they're like so good. I don't know, but she plays flute. After she actually has a pedal board that's just like a table, and she's running effects, and she's just making do 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 like kind of sounds and stuff.
Yeah.
Just beeps and boops, and then she'll just bust out the flute, and she'll play the prettiest like jazz improv thing while her partner laying it down on Rhodes piano. Speaking of
Yeah.
instruments, I get obsessed with as I get
love
older.
Rhodes.
I love Rhodes. Rhodes is like my favorite sound, and one day I would love to own one.
They're really expensive.
I know. Well, that's why I say one day I would get a loan out for a Rhodes though. But dude, get this. They lug that Rhodes around for all their gigs. You know Quarters? Have you been to Quarters? Arcade bar?
No.
Yes.
You
Wait,
have?
Yeah. In Salt Lake.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to go down those stairs, right? They
Yeah.
carried the Rhodes piano down those stairs.
Oh,
And I'm like, oh my gosh.
treacherous.
Also-
I guess the moral of the story is be careful.
Don't
Be
drop
careful.
that thing.
No, but Rhodes, yeah, the second one,
Yeah.
Rhodes.
It's essentially an electric piano.
But it's
that has
analog.
Yeah, so the way it works is they have pickups in it for each note. Well, I don't know if it's for each one. It might just be one giant pickup. I actually don't know exactly how that's set up, but basically what it is when you press a key, a hammer hits a tuning fork. So it's essentially a piano made out of tuning forks.
What?
It's amazing.
And they sound so
They
cool.
sound like heaven. They sound like the flute and the dulcimer to me. It's like puts my head in the clouds in 1 second.
Yeah, it's like very like magical sounding.
Yeah.
'Cause it's analog, but it feels like it's synth in a way.
It feels like a Wurlitzer.
Yeah.
Feels like a
It gives
yeah.
you such clean tones.
the cleanest. Yeah.
Really, really clean tones. And I've played around on one before. They're a lot of fun.
Piper and I got
I don't know how to play
one.
the piano very well, but it was just they're like cool to experience.
They are so heavy. Yes.
Yeah.
They are so heavy.
It's
Oh my gosh.
It's like a giant block of steel.
It is.
They dragged that down into that dungeon.
They did, and they're gonna do it at Kilby Court in June, and I'm gonna be there.
Ooh.
It's gonna be fun. You should come. Actually, I'm inviting you.
Totally. When?
I don't June 16th or something. Piper, when's the Pearl and the Oyster show?
We got isn't there a Melt Banana show coming up?
Yeah,
'Cause we
it's
have-
actually probably tonight.
Is
I
it
don't
tonight?
know. Is it tonight or is
I
it?
thought-
No,
I
it's
thought it was-
Sunday.
Is it Sunday?
It might be this Sunday.
I can't remember when you.
I would be down to go.
Because you said I was on the list, right?
You are on the list. You can go and
I need
Just-
to know when that is then. Because I don't remember.
I'll look.
All I know is coming up like here in within like a week
Pearl and the Oysters plays on the 11th
of July.
of
Well,
June.
June.
Sorry,
June.
it's a couple days after Piper and I open for Dent May, which you guys are also invited to if you want to go to that
Where's that?
international bar. That's what it's called.
Don't know where it
I was
is.
gonna say we're happy to go to all of them.
Any bar.
Just
Baby-
all
with baby.
bars.
Yeah, babies make bars difficult.
Well, I mean, we'd find a babysitter no matter what.
Right.
I've
Bar
been
to bar
to-
just because it's more fun. It's not fun to take.
Babies to bars.
Not fun to take babies to
sorry,
anything.
sorry. No, it's true. It's true. That's why I'm essentially a hermit. Piper says it's Sunday, so
Sunday.
yeah,
For
you're on the
Melt
list, whether or
Banana.
not Piper and I can make it.
Okay. Where is it at? I can't
I
remember
don't
if you
know.
told me where it's at.
It might be the same place. I don't know. Let me check.
At the
Soundwell? Is that where you saw him
Soundwell?
last?
No, they're at
Is that the one you took Jason to?
yeah. His first
real
show that he'd ever been to.
Are you serious? Actually?
Yeah.
How
His
was he
first thing-
overwhelmed? Was he happy about it?
I think he had a good time.
I like a punk
But-
show being his first one.
It's like kind of a crazy starting point. Especially
It's actually at Urban Lounge,
Urban Lounge. Okay.
which would actually be fun. I like
Yeah.
Urban for shows like that. We'll see how the pit is with drinks everywhere. There will be one, because people are there for Melt Banana. So, Eliza, if you don't know Melt Banana, they are a Japanese punk band that have hailed for 15 years, 20 years. Do you know?
Probably more than that.
And they've been touring ever since, and they have very high energy.
And it's just two people.
And it's just two people.
It's just a singer and a guitarist.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
That's all you need.
Occasionally they've had.
Do they have a
drummer.
backtrack though?
Yeah.
They just
The
backtracks?
singer has like a Power Ranger gauntlet thing that has like controls on it, and she'll control like all the tracks and stuff.
As it
Tracks and, like,
should.
drums and
it looks better than a
samples
laptop.
and stuff. Like they have a laptop, but it's like basically
Right.
a MIDI controller like on her arm,
Right.
and she'll like be controlling stuff with that.
A Power Ranger, a Yu-Gi-Oh MIDI
Yeah.
controller.
Yeah, it's got like lights on it and stuff. But the guitarist is crazy.
Yeah.
He's playing like really nuts stuff, and you just like watch him like go crazy.
I feel like it'd be easier to tour the U.S. with two people for that many years, whether or not you make
Yeah.
it very well. Because you get the same in merch sales no matter how many people you have in your band.
Yeah.
So, speaking of, we might make backing tracks for our set on June 8th.
Yeah.
Owl City's first tour, just him and a laptop. That's how it starts. That's how magic starts. It starts by your lonesome. It starts when Casey decides to make ambient music, even though he's the father of
10 kids.
10 kids.
Mm.
So it'll be your first tour. Your first tour could be you and a laptop. And a dulcimer
Dude,
and a flute.
all I've got.
That would actually be so sick.
Problem is, I've got
That's a cool setup.
too many good band names
Is
for
that- that's-
myself.
Wait, start listing.
Yeah.
Let's just hear 'em.
You should just have a bunch of them.
Well, actually, that's not true. I've only got one that has my heart, which is Ocho Biscocho.
That's beautiful.
I know.
Ocho Piscocho?
Yeah.
Ocho Piscocho?
Ocho Biscocho.
Ocho Piscocho? I could say that 100 times. Yeah.
Only Ocho Biscocho sounds like it should be a fun band and not like a.
Yeah.
Not like
It
a,
sounds like you do like kids music.
Yeah.
But part of me likes that if you make ambient music and you have a silly name.
Make some silly ambient music.
Instead of having like an ambient music name.
I have a silly name, but it's because I'm making silly pop, so it's okay. What do you think about band names where it like puts you in a situation? It's like a band name like Panic at the Disco. Like, I feel like that's just like that's too much. Like I don't, like every time I'm listening, I don't want to be panicking at the disco, you know?
It
Subconsciously.
makes you
Freak
anxious.
out.
This is
But
a call-
Ocho
a call to
Biscocho,
action.
Like making.
I could be Ocho Biscocho all day, all freaking day long. Because I don't even know what that means. I can just form my own world around that name. I can just live in that world. And like sounds only take you as far as your imagination will go. So like don't put a noun and a verb in your name, maybe. It's my opinion.
Isn't
No
that
offense if
also-
you have any names like that.
I mean, I'm thinking of them like. making a peanut butter sandwich as fast as you can for an angry kid.
As the name for a band.
That's an angry, yeah.
And it just turns into an acronym for press.
Yeah.
There's this one band that Piper and I saw at Kilby Block Party, and their press name is Tagabo, but their Spotify name is They Are Gutting a Body of Water. And like that's cool and whatever, but like you could have just called it Gutting a Body of Water, or just, I don't know, gutting.
Body of water.
I secretly like, well, I don't know.
But you
about,
like long band names?
Well, okay. I don't like long band names. I like long names because the world I inhabit is like thinking of video games and short films and stuff. And all of like I want to call everything like A Night in a Cabin in the Wasatch, or in a canyon in the Wasatch Mountains. Like I want to like name a short film that.
Yeah.
So it's a reaction to being in the animation program, and everything has to be like tangled and frozen.
Yeah.
And you're like,
it's like, no, it has to be the opposite.
Yeah, I want it to be called The Wind Shakes the Trees and It's Super Pretty. And I look at it.
I actually love indie films with weird names like that.
There's a lot of animes that do that too. We've talked about that before, where it's be like a full-on sentence as a name. It'll be a kind of like an insane sentence.
Do you remember these names? Andre
Oh,
3000.
yeah.
Do you remember
Yeah.
Outcast?
Yeah.
Did you listen
Yeah,
to
I
that?
listened
one?
to that.
The song titles all are like.
There are two or three
long.
tracks on there that I really, 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 really like. His are like, those names are too funny.
They're so good.
They're being
I
a little-
swear I really wanted to make a rap album, but oh man, it's too long.
You can't even.
I can't even read. I can't
Yeah,
see
you
it
have to,
all on
like, wait for
Spotify.
it
I
to
have to
scroll.
wait for it to
That's
scroll.
what I had to do when I listened to it. I just sat there and I was like, wait for
It kind of
each
puts
song
you
to
in a good
scroll.
headspace, though.
Yeah.
It makes you attentive.
I had a lot of fun when
A
you guys
rap
told me
album.
about that.
But this is literally the way the wind blew me. I know the rest. Anyway,
Somebody should do.
because it's a
Is
flute
have one
album.
that's so long that it takes the length of the song for it to scroll through the title,
Hmm.
and so it's like you have to read it the whole time that you're listening to it.
Yeah,
Specifically paced with the
I love that actually.
the Spotify
With the
title
with
scroll
the
speed.
paste with it with the
So
music.
you have to be like watching it,
Oh, I love this title.
and then the music goes along with whatever story is in the title of the thing.
The night in Hawaii when I turned into a panther and started making low register noises or something.
Yeah.
What does it say? Yeah, and dude, Jimmy Kimmel or somebody like read that before his set on live television. He like read this title, these low register sounds. Yeah, just kept going. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
I really liked it. It's got like one song that really is kind of like it's made it into the common rotation.
Which one do you remember?
It's called "Dreams Come Up Through the Ground and
Beneath
Turn
the
into
Dungeon."
Clouds" or something like that.
Yeah, that's the last track. Okay, I'm saving it.
I think that's the one.
Yeah.
It is. It's like, yeah, it's down at the bottom.
Beneath the dungeon floor.
Yeah, dreams come up through
Slowly.
the floor or whatever.
You should make long title stuff. I actually think that's cool. Nothing on Panic at the Disco. I just like to hate them. I think I told Piper one time that Brendan Urie feels like the devil to me. He just feels like the devil. Like if I picture the devil, like if I cast it for like a temple movie, I would use
him.
Brendan Urie as the most believable Lucifer you can imagine. But that's really mean. I don't know.
Not if he's Satan.
Not if he is Satan, though.
I mean, it could be.
It could be. It's got to be somebody. It's got to be somebody running around here. Oh, and he's probably going to be popular. Cool. Elliot's listening to Raji and Brian Eno now for sleep.
Mm-hmm. Ambient 3. No, this month has been a music month for me.
You
I've been
attended
to
Block Party.
I've been to more shows this month than I have been in a long time.
Give us the rundown of what shows you've seen this month.
I went to the Casey went to that one too, the one at
Penguin
Velour.
Mofix.
Yeah.
Penguin Mofix with whatever the two other bands were.
Pool House.
Pool House and the Third Ward or something.
My gosh. I can't remember their names.
Third Ward.
Oh yeah, Third Ward.
Singles Ward.
But that was a lot of fun.
That was.
Mostly because it was like hanging out with people I haven't seen in a while. And we were drawing people in the crowd and on stage and stuff.
And I'd rather talk about like the aesthetic side, or I don't know, not the business side was important, but I was kind of curious. So probably didn't make. So each band has like 20 people, and there's only like 30 people there at the concert.
Yeah.
Probably didn't make any money, right? What do you? How does that? Maybe
well,
I don't.
Sell,
maybe I
they
don't.
also
like,
sell merch.
Yeah, you sell merch, but.
Yeah, merch is the most consistent way to ensure that you make money as a touring musician or as just a gigging musician in general. Like people buy t-shirts. It's weird. People even buy records. I don't know. And yeah, ticket sales, but like
Velour wasn't that big.
yeah, Velour isn't the most profitable venue in my opinion. Because I don't know.
And it was like what, like $15?
Yeah.
I've never got the impression that Corey Fox is really interested in expanding the draw, you know.
Yeah, I think he probably just likes where it's at.
He likes doing it how he does it.
Well, he would change things if he didn't.
Right. But you know, that's why bar venues survive, because you can pay artists a percentage of alcohol sales. You can pay. I mean, Piper and I, when we play, I think we're going to be paid a percentage of alcohol sales.
Interesting.
Actually, I saw a breakdown. It was like, it said a headliner gets 60%, and then what's weird is like, it said support and us get like the same percentage. Like we each get 20%. It's like, wow. I guess that kind of makes sense because we're local. Like they're kind of counting on us to have like a local draw.
Yeah.
You know.
No, that's interesting.
But we don't have any merch, so we're probably not going to make much money from that.
You need to get merch.
We need merch. I've been trying to think of how I could make merch in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
On my drive here, I was like, could I get somebody to make t-shirts for me? Like quick turnaround in 2 weeks, just like make like 15, 20 shirts.
I could make some buttons.
I have buttons, but they're too small for people to want them.
I can make bigger.
Do people only want big buttons?
Oh, we could do a bigger button, huh?
I have a button
People
press.
want big buttons.
I think people like big buttons, but I want like something in between that big size and the small size, because I think it's kind of a big deal to get a big button. You know, you got to really think about where you're going to put it. But I would love to say something like on a button that says like, I'm stomping to the beat of Tomper or something. Stomping to the beat of Tomper. Or like, I don't know.
Tomp your feet.
Yeah, tomp your feet. Tomp your feet. Something like that. If you can remember the name of the band, it's probably not a very cool band. If you can remember the name of the band?
Probably can't.
Yeah, I have pins. We have pins with our faces on them. Those ones didn't sell. Now I know. But do you just want like a random like husband and wife music duo on a pin?
You gotta have like
I do,
some
but I'm weird.
Some like graphic.
I was dancing around.
Make 'em graphic.
I was dancing around it, Bradley. I was tastefully alluding to it.
like buttons, and I cannot lie.
In fact, the fact that you even thought of it is because I planted the idea in your head.
This tea smells amazing. Sorry to change the subject.
Oh, and
Very-
yeah, it's
very minty.
it's just ready to go. It's probably really, really hot.
Yeah, I was gonna wait for it
Oh, these things worked so well.
to calm down.
I just found those randomly.
There's candles and there's fresh tea from Tea Lady. You guys wish you were here. But what else you see? Sorry, you talked about
I saw
Pink
that.
Penguin
And
and
then it
Moffitt.
was all
That's
the
right.
stuff at Kilby.
yeah.
So
What were your
that's a lot of
highlights?
things. I think my favorite was Belle and Sebastian.
That
It
set
was
was
so
insane.
good.
Oh my gosh. I never
bet-
got way
I-
into their recorded music, but that was the coolest set I saw.
'Cause I hadn't listened to them in a while. And I've been listening to more lately. Because it's like something about like actually like going and experiencing it live like hypes you up so much more. Even to like listen to the recorded stuff.
It's hard to listen to the point of understanding sometimes. Like
Mhm.
seeing it and experiencing it in an interactive way just sends you there.
Yeah.
Like it just puts you there.
So that was really good. I mean, they're all the stuff I saw was super good. Ginger Root was great.
Ginger Root was so good. This is not announced, but there's only a few people in the chat, but he's coming again. He's
Yeah?
playing the Depot on Piper's birthday.
Is that what she's gonna do for her birthday?
Yeah, if you want to join, we could have a birthday party on the balcony overlooking the stage if you want to come.
I want to go.
Okay, let's do it.
Ginger Root's a lot of fun.
Ginger Root is so fun. Have you heard of Ginger Root?
No.
So Ginger Root is a Japanese American. Sorry, he's American, but his whole aesthetic leans it hard into 1985 Japan, basically, or 1987
Yeah.
Japan.
80s Japan.
And yeah, it's like he calls it aggressive elevator soul. Because it's kind of lo-fi but it's like really fast and it is soulful, but it has like city pop elements all through
Yeah.
it, and it just sounds kind of like an anime theme, but it's
Yeah.
like very driven and accessible.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
yeah,
it was
so
a
what did you
really
think?
it was
Yeah.
a really good performance because it wasn't just playing the music, but he also had like a whole kind of like theatrical thing almost to it, because he has this whole thing where it's like he's playing a character that has like stumbled upon being like the star of like a show that he was supposed to just be like the songwriter for, and now he's just like kind of like the whole time he's on stage he's very like fumbly about what he's saying, like
he
he's like
doesn't do much banter, but when he does,
yeah
it's like stutter.
Yeah.
It's just completely stuttering.
yeah
And it doesn't actually make any sense.
yeah
He hits all the right words, but it doesn't have any grammatical sense to it.
yeah
Like he's up there, he has a script, and he just kind of messes it up. And it feels like he's going through his songs as fast as he can.
yeah
Like he's nervous. And I met him actually, and he is nervous. Like, I mean, of course he doesn't want to sit around and talk to people after he just played like a really crazy set, but like, you know, I get that vibe is that he does his thing and then he just goes and he needs his piece.
yeah
But
I mean, it's an intense show. Like, they're really killing it.
it's so fast.
And he's doing so many things
Yeah.
that he's playing. He has, like, the two different microphones. Like, he has, like, the telephone microphone.
He's running a backing track. He has a mini... It replicates a Rhodes. It's a Yamaha
Yeah.
keyboard, and it's small. So it has the Rhodes or Wurlitzer sound, and then he has a teenage engineering
Like an OP1.
OP1, which has all the
And he had
samples
some other
and
thing up there, and then he also had the, what are they called? The thing you blow into.
oh my gosh,
He used that for one
A
song.
didgeridoo.
You did, yeah. No,
Actually,
it's
there
the
were-
keyboard thing that you like with the
Oh.
hose.
Oh yeah.
there were
The didgeridoo.
three of the bands like use some variety of that type of instrument.
Yeah,
I noticed.
really. Oh, because Belle and Sebastian did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they used a different one.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was. I could have sworn somebody else used one, but I know for sure Belle and Sebastian and Ginger both used one of those.
Mild High Club played one for Kill Me Block Party 3, and it blew my mind. It was so cool because like hearing a solo on that thing into a microphone, it sounds kind of like flute. It's airy.
Yeah,
It's really airy, and it's got a great lead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, but no, all the shows were really good, and all the headliners were great. Vampire Weekend, and Death Cab, Postal Service, and LCD Sound System. They're all a lot of fun.
I'm glad
It's
you caught
like
all of
a crazy party at the end. Crazy
so
dance party.
LCD was amazing at the end. Piper and I just did a stroll around the whole grounds
Yeah.
during All My Friends. Like the sentimental hit, right?
Yeah.
And we're just watching groups of people just enjoy each other's company. Like a mass amount of people
Mm-hmm.
enjoying this song. That's what we call community. That felt
Yeah.
like community.
No, it was really great.
Vampire Weekend was in their jam band era. There they are now. And it's actually cool. I'm not big on jam bands, but
It was
did it
a
right.
lot
Wait.
of fun.
Wait, do they just like play for 30 minutes?
yeah, they'll just go off on a tangent.
I mean, that's groovy.
I mean, not for like 30 minutes, but They would extend a
They'd like
song.
embellish their songs a lot.
yeah.
Mm.
And they had a lot of musicians and a lot of...
And they kind of changed up the composition as far as like what they were playing. Then they had like a lot of saxophone.
ton
going
of
on,
saxophone.
which
Definitely
I
had
don't
a
think
New
they
York sound.
yeah, they had like gave like a twist to all their stuff.
Mhm.
So it was a lot of fun. I really liked it. And then they had what's her face from Real Housewives of Salt Lake there.
Heather.
She
She played corn toss and she cheated.
It was.
Have you seen that show?
No.
Piper and I watched a little bit of this show. And it is just like kind of a lot of drinking between these women that get a lot of plastic surgery done. And it's just like shenanigans and drama between them. And it's televised and it's in Salt Lake. And just like, it'll just be that. And then it cuts to like a shot of the temple. And then it goes back. It's pretty exhilarating actually. But then it just keeps going and you're like, am I here for this or not? You know, but like there's a lot of fans like Joanna Sternberg. We saw her play or them play and they make like Daniel Johnston, like songwriter type stuff. And I wouldn't expect them to be a big fan, but they were. And they were talking about how they wanted to meet one.
Mm-hmm. It was funny, but something I was thinking about, just like going to all these live music things, is how. I mean, we've kind of talked about before how listening to music changes when you can do something like, say, just create an infinite playlist versus having to make like a mixtape or burn a CD. But I was thinking about, like, at one point, the only way you could listen to music is if you actually listen to it live.
Yeah.
And that's, like, kind of crazy to think about. Like, how much more, like, magical it would be. Like, that's the only time. Like, if the only time you ever heard LCD Sound System was ever live, and there was no such thing as an album, it'd be, like, kind of insane. Because you'd be like, what is going on?
That crossed my mind, the thought of that. Like, someone was telling me, like, well, you know, the subject was playing, like, being with your friends and like I think I was talking about rotating band members, and I'm like, it's kind of chaotic, and they're like, and I was like, I think the only time I like get out and hang out with friends is when I'm having a band practice and I'm doing it with friends or whatever. And I was like, and I have a different band every time, so I guess that's kind of how I get caught up with people.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, isn't that what it's all about? I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. Like, I'm not rounding up a band just so I can play a show. I'm rounding up a band so I can, like, have a community of people and, like, create, like, musical fusion together. Oh my gosh, you should watch it though. I think you should watch a few episodes and decide if you're here for it. But like the shenanigans in it are wild. Like I can't even imagine being able to have a lifestyle here in Utah where I can just like thrive in that environment. One of my bandmates met one of them one time at a bar, I think. It's kind of cool.
Highlight of their life.
Yeah, maybe. He's met a lot of weird people. He's been in Michael Jackson's house. He's been at Neverland. Speaking of music, you know, inside of Michael Jackson's house, there's a roped off square in the middle of his dance studio. And you know, it's roped off for a reason, to just like respect where Michael Jackson would start his day or something. And Vic is there with his boss, who's pretending to be a possible buyer of the property.
Yeah.
And that's how he's able to get this tour. So, but his boss at the time was like, "Here, Vic, like, let's get a picture inside of the roped square." So they jump in the roped square while their tour guide's walking away and get a picture. I thought that was funny.
In the trap door.
Now they're cursed.
Yeah, now they're cursed. Michael Jackson's ghost will not leave them alone. Wait, no, Piper, we had to have seen like 3. That was a lot of footage. Are they like hour-long episodes? Probably. There's a lot of drama to cover. But it kind of starts like in plastic surgery offices. Like it really sets the tone right away, like where you are, what world you're in.
Tom, try the tea.
Oh, here, let's go.
There's more sugar almost.
I like it.
Oh my gosh. That's dang good. That's the best damn tea I've ever had. That is so good. What the? Oh my gosh.
It's very like refreshing. Like the mint really hits you.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been hit with mint harder, dude, and I've brushed my teeth my whole life. It's minty. It's fresh. It's pretty hot. It's like, it's sweet. Yeah. It like, this mint cuts deep.
Some fresh mint.
Yeah, I've never felt better about tea in my whole life.
That's how I'm feeling, dude. I don't know if I've ever felt better about tea.
I'm just trying to decide if I really like ratatouille'd Tom with, hopefully.
No, you did. You did. You surely did.
It's all
It's
I want.
lightning-y.
It's got a tea in there too, but it's mostly the mint. Very lightning-y.
Yeah, some green tea is just kind of the backbone.
I love green tea flavor. So, Chad, what were we talking about?
Yeah. Dude, live music.
Talking about the square in Michael Jackson's studio.
Oh,
All your friends curse.
And how that, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like he probably is. I feel like that's...
I think he's blessed. I think he was blessed by that experience.
Of all the ghosts, there's a lot of ghosts I do and do not want. I don't want the ghost of Michael.
I have the ghost of Michael, let me tell you. Since I was a young lad, and don't take that the wrong way, but I that was the first music I really truly connected with. Was Michael Jackson's music. English breakfast. You mean
English breakfast tea.
Oh yeah, I told these guys that story. You told me you were shaking on your drive home.
Before your job interview. You're
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll do a really good job.
No, but honestly, like I knew that she did better at her job interview over caffeinated. I know Piper, and I know that if she's over caffeinated, she will deliver. Because an interview is a very weird social setting.
That is.
Very abnormal.
Did you listen to any music on your way home, Piper? We're talking music today.
She's had music in her head from the caffeine.
Yeah, yeah. She just had so much English breakfast, real breakfasts from England, and somehow she got really caffeinated. Beans on toast.
Beans on toast. Dude, have you seen the video where it's interviewing British people on what their favorite breakfast foods are? And they're just talking what sounds like nonsense.
Yeah.
Because they'll be like, oh yeah, the Willie and Dobbs.
You're like, what?
Yeah. My favorite breakfast is the chiller on rye with a side of beans. Just whatever. It could they'll say whatever. And another British person would just probably go along with it. They're like, yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And they're like, they think we're talking about real.
I think Australians pretend to understand each other too.
Oh, yeah. Well, now Australians talk way
are
more like we do.
Yeah, they're not as weird.
I like
Yeah.
Philip, you talking about how your dad went to Australia in
Right.
the 70s or whatever and couldn't understand a word anyone was saying.
And now it's
yeah, you watch
I
Bluey and
anytime
you're
I've heard anything from an Australian, I'm I understood everything they said.
Everything is funnier in Bluey because it is understandable to us at this point, and it's just because they have Australian accents. And what's funnier than a kid with an Australian accent? Who's also a dog.
Yeah, I was going to say a dog kid. That's funnier.
Whatever you call a dog kid.
A werewolf. I don't know.
Whatever you call a herd of dogs.
Okay, so here's.
That's an obscure reference that nobody would get.
Nope.
I don't know.
Only I get that.
You won't.
Piper might.
If it's one of your horrible 1980s animes. Is it?
It is related to a horrible movie.
I knew it.
But it was from actually an in-person thing with something the director said.
Oh.
He said that.
What did he say?
An in-person thing?
He's whatever.
You knew the director.
A herd of dogs.
Is this Dog Man?
Yeah, for Dog Man.
Oh my gosh, I guessed it. Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
It's for the premiere for Dog Man 2.
I just know that you have a love for that.
It's so bad.
So bad it's good.
And the director is
Piper missed the reference.
The director is the perfect personality for the kind of person that makes
Dogman 2.
Bad movies that are so bad they're good sort of thing. Where it's you can
Tommy
tell.
Wiseau?
Yeah, where it's you can tell that they're serious about what they did. They're oblivious to the fact that what they create is total garbage.
It's
But it was the director was actually there because I'd seen Dogman, and then it was at the Traverse City Film Festival, and they did Dogman 2, and he was there, and after the movie was over, he was like doing kind of like a little director's commentary thing.
I can't even believe this.
And it was
being at a director's commentary for
it's
that.
a movie called Dog Man, and he was talking about the fact that in this one shot you could hear like coyotes or something in the background. He's like, that was a real those were real coyotes. You know, there's a bunch of them, like whatever you call like a herd of coyotes. And it's like, I mean, a pack? A pack of coyotes?
You directed Dogman.
You directed a movie about a dog guy. You must know
should
something
know everything about
dogs.
dogs.
Yeah.
Also,
it's
the group, it's not like it's an obscure group of animals either.
I know. It was like, it's just one of those moments where it's like, I can't believe like this is a real thing being said.
You know, if there was another Dogman, I would want Wilson to audition.
Moments like that are great. Like one time some guy came up to me in Smith's and I was looking for the heavy cream. And this guy came up to me, he's like, what are you looking for? I just said, oh, I'm looking for the cream. And he's like, oh, what's that for? I was like, just for wherever I need it. I was actually thinking about using it in hot chocolate. And he's like, wow, cream in hot chocolate? I've never thought about it. Does that make it more creamy? And
That's a great question.
I didn't know how to respond. I was like, I can't believe somebody would say this.
I hit you with questions like this every time I see you.
Not like that. That was like a level where it's like, I don't understand how you could ask that. I think I just said like, yeah.
He's giving
And
Tommy
then-
Wiseau.
It was just like, oh my God.
Have you seen The Room?
No, I haven't.
We should
I
get
don't know if I
together as a
can.
group and watch The
I
Room.
need to.
I don't know. I have.
We could do it as a
I'm
group.
not like a. I have a tough time with real bad movies.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
I'm not.
Amy doesn't. Amy
I'm
calls it
actually
perfection.
like kind of
right?
ashamed I haven't seen it.
Oh, really? Because, yeah.
Because I'm into that sort of
I
thing.
I
But yeah,
have
I'm not gonna watch. The thing is I'm not gonna watch it
Yeah.
by myself.
No, I
You
watched
cannot.
Eraserhead by myself.
Oh,
And that's a good movie, but it's built to make you anxious, and I feel like a bad movie could
It's
make
much
you
better
anxious
when
if you're
you watch
alone.
it with somebody.
Oh,
Right.
I also watched Eraserhead on my own and had a real. You're right. It's like not fun.
You do, how
Well,
far
yeah,
did you get?
Probably.
I had a third left.
I was gonna say 2/3 because I was like, I think what I did was I just started.
That's a horrible
I think
point
I just
in the
started
movie.
dragging the thing on my computer, dragging the whatever it's called.
Scrubbing.
Yeah, scrubbing. I was scrubbing, because because I just remember just shifting uncomfortably in my seat in my room all alone with that movie, and you're
Yeah.
like,
It
you're
is-
like, I'm so sorry, Mr. Weird Guy, that your baby's coughing. Help, help.
It's horrible, dude.
It-
I saw that movie
it
in the
is-
middle of the desert in a cheap motel
Oh.
while I was working
Not-
for my dad, and that is
not the
not an
place.
ideal place. You know,
I don't want to watch that with people either, though. I don't know. When
I've
watch.
watched it with people.
I don't know
It's-
where
it's
I wanna-
better. It's much better
Oh.
that way.
I don't know, dude. I
Like
have a
that
hard
movie
time.
is like meant to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It
no,
is like perfectly designed to make you uncomfortable.
psychologically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Without doing anything like
too absurd. Yeah,
too like just like grotesque or anything. It's just like
it is absurd. Yeah,
everything, because like you can have like slasher movies where it's just like the gore makes you uncomfortable or something.
yeah, Bradley.
Or you watch
But-
Tim and Eric, and it's so uncomfortable that it makes
But
you laugh.
it's just like the design of the movie makes you
Yeah.
uncomfortable. It's there are some things where it is like just like grotesque, but not in like the normal sense.
He also thinks of like a very obviously uncomfortable situation, and he makes it. He's like, how can I make this as uncomfortable as possible in kind of an indirect way?
Yeah, Amy. I don't know, because you watch it and you're like, this is like undoubtedly like effective.
Yeah,
Like you watch it and
yeah.
you're like, this is good, but I don't want to watch it right now or ever.
True.
It's I don't. Yeah, it's like one of those that you like appreciate because it makes you want to like go like.
It makes you
like walk out in the sun and be glad you have family or something. I don't know.
No, it's true. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that out there.
I mean,
that makes me do that.
in a sense, though, connecting into things we've talked about. This is not related to music at this point, but
the music is unsettling now.
With Eraserhead, this is a question: is would Tolstoy consider it actual art? Because it is conveying like
I think you would
a feeling.
I think Tolstoy would actually dig it.
And it's like completely like.
Who is this?
So
I'm missing a lot.
So we had an episode where we.
This is like the through line of.
Yeah, so we've had a number of things where we've discussed different kind of philosophies on aesthetics, and one of them we read something by Leo Tolstoy, where he goes on a whole big thing about what is actual art and what's imitation art.
Mm.
And fundamentally what he's saying is true art is something that infects the viewer or listener, like whoever's receiving it, right, with a feeling from something that was sincerely felt by the creator of the art. If that makes sense. So it's not just something that
conveys.
Yeah. So it's not just something that's interesting looking or that just is like pulling from elements of things that people are familiar with. It's less about like how like technically good the song is or how beautifully rendered a painting is, but it's like, is it conveying like a true like feeling to you?
With Lynch's track record, I think it would.
Yeah, I think it's super effective.
It
actually.
would be that. Yeah.
So.
What was it you said earlier, Tom? In this vein, it's like, you were saying music like. Good music like stimulates the imagination or gets you something like that.
Yeah, well, like, what I like with music is like it can go as far as your imagination can, like, as far as where it can take your mind, like depending on the music you listen to. So there's a very specific, or not very specific, but there's a general headspace I like to be in that music takes me to. Like in an instant, so.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't get in that headspace watching something usually. I don't know.
Yeah, all of the.
Kind of can, but.
All of the. Will it help to? I don't think.
I don't know if it would.
It would help because I think we're all happier about it than David Lynch was.
You just get 3 dads thinking about worst case scenario about their children.
3, yeah,
which is worse than just one. Oh my gosh!
I think we're all a lot like happier with our situations than David Lynch was when he made that movie.
Probably.
I don't think he was. I mean, all I've got to go off is that movie. But I don't think he was in a good place.
I don't know his like.
It seems pretty
mental
autobiographical.
Yeah, it kind of does, huh? That is true. That scares me.
But yeah, no. So, like I was talking to Tom about the music that I licensed from that guy. Because at some point in the next 30 years, I'll make a short film with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because there's a lot of music that just straight up like paints a picture in my mind, and it's almost like not even. I'm like this is like hardly even mine. I just like paints like the short film for me, and I'm like it's just like ready there for me as I listen to the music.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like a vault.
I told you once, or when I talked to you and Piper about which your songs?
We have 3 songs.
Yeah, you've got 3 songs. Yeah, your song did that to me.
Oh, which one? Baby, come on. Cruise Control.
Cruise Control. It's Cruise Control.
No,
it's Baby Come On. It's not Cruise Control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you imagining?
Driving up to a hot spring in Idaho.
That's freaking awesome.
And I felt kind of bad when I talked to you because I'd only heard it a couple times. So again, it's kind of like what you were saying also about listening to music and getting it. Like, I was getting like the feel of the music, not the lyrics. And when you were kind of like explaining the lyrics, I was like, the lyrics hadn't even like registered in my mind yet.
That's fine. I like that. It sounds like the tones were coming across though.
Yeah, like it was painting this picture and then I was like, oh, right, the lyrics. Maybe I should like pay attention to the lyrics.
The lyrics are always secondary to me. Like, sometimes I really don't care about lyrics. Actually, if you're familiar with my music, you probably get that I don't care too much about lyrics.
No,
like,
I don't.
I listen to music
almost,
for tones mainly.
Yeah.
I listen to it for the tones.
Well,
I almost never.
The lyrics just make it accessible.
There'll be songs I've like listened to dozens of times, and I'll be like, I could like maybe tell you like what like the beginning of like a chorus is or something.
Yeah.
But like unless like I specifically like try and like listen for that, it's like my brain doesn't like go to the lyrics. It's just like I'm usually much more like focused in on like what's the bass doing.
Yeah.
Or I'm like thinking about things like what kind of effects are they putting on things?
How
Or,
are
like,
they muting the triangle like that? How are they muting it? So nice. Yeah, Piper, that Japanese song. Yeah, we've connected heavily with Japanese music because it functions like pop music. It feels accessible, but I don't even know what they're saying.
Yeah.
And so it's like the whole thing comes across, and I don't even have to worry about the baggage of vocabulary.
Yeah, the lyrics have what would you say, like a sort of like a Paul McCartney lyrics kind of feel where it's more like
they could just
like
be talking about walruses.
Yeah, well, because
and octopuses.
Like he'll
for all you know.
Like you try and like listen to like the songs and he's just like writing things that sound nice to go in that spot right there, and they like
yes,
and they like like you're like, and it just sounds perfect, and if you try and like grasp it, you're like what?
True.
Yeah.
There's this guy I met at Treefort Music Festival in Boise. Speaking of just a drive up to Idaho, first drive I did out of state without Piper and Elliot since Elliot was born was to this music festival for just a day because there were a few bands I wanted to see. One I hadn't missed on a tour yet since they, started a while back. But I saw this guy Yohei play, and I found his music because we had the same artist illustrate our cover art for our released music, Mark Neely. So I met him and I was like, hey, like this and that's our connection. And he's like, wait, I follow you. And we chatted, and there was this one song he played in particular. And he said in his stage banter, he's like, this song's about nothing. He's like, I wrote it in Japanese. He's like, but you don't need to worry about the words because it doesn't mean anything. Mm-hmm. And afterwards, I was like, I refuse to believe it's not about anything. He's like, visit me in LA and I'll tell you what it means. He's like, I'll elaborate on it. And you know what's insane? I said, I'm going to LA like next month. I was like, all right, so like, I'll take you up on it. So I go and visit him. Piper and I go. He gives us coffee, and we're hanging out at what he calls the hut. It's like a back house. It was completely covered in plants. There's just plants everywhere. And he has this little shed studio outside his house, and he has this tiny little house. And dude, he's got like Hosono records. And he told me he like is like he's hung out with Harumi Hosono a couple times, And
the heck?
yeah, he's a guitar tech, so he
okay.
he's a touring guitar tech, so he gets to meet people and hang out with people. And so I asked him again. I was like, "Tell me about the song, dude." He's like, "No, I'm serious. That song's not about anything." He's like, "It's literally just random words." But dude, the feeling I got from that song was so pure.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is the best songs, the best pop songs, in my opinion, are written with a really good mumble track. Please be about doing drugs. He had a lot of songs about weed, actually. He had, like weed and his dogs and stuff.
Giving his dogs.
Well,
weed.
one was like, yeah, well, he might do that. I don't know. But I don't know if Piper likes to talk about this, but yeah, I smoked a little weed with him. But I was too scared to like smoke much because he's like 45. And when you're 45 years old and you've been smoking weed your whole life, you tend to take in higher THC counts.
Yeah.
And so there's this really dense, thing going on. And I was like, I don't think I took anything from it. Actually, I was too scared. Anyway, but yeah, that song was about nothing. But I told him, I was like, dude, that song makes me feel cool stuff. He's like, well, good for you. It doesn't mean anything. So yeah, I think music's about the tones. Kind of. And community. He had a Wurlitzer or a Rhodes. Got to play around on that.
Oh, nice.
That was fun.
That is fun.
Oh, we should let Casey make the music video. Tell you what, whenever I make the other one, then I'll come and license it proper style.
We don't have one for Baby Come On yet, so.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll do it right. I'll come and propose marriage to your song.
Cool.
Ask your blessing.
Absolutely. Oh wait, Yohei's house? Yohei's house was chill. He just played records for me. And we just hung out in the hut. And he was talking to me about, Hosono and, going on tours and Japan life. And then he had so many questions about Mormonism. Like, he had a lot of questions about Mormonism. And, like, so he also put us onto this fish taco spot. And he was just asking me about, like, the way I grew up and stuff. And he had a lot of questions. But we could have been talking about him growing up in Japan. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't have any. I have like one kind of interesting meeting a musician thing. And that was when I was with my dad and we were shooting some documentary. And
You've shot a documentary with your dad?
yeah.
I gotta see this.
As one does.
But we were in New York and we were staying at.
Yeah, should Yohei convert, Piper? That would be cool.
But we stayed at like this improv jazz guy's place.
Mm.
And he was very intense. That was where I played a Rhodes. He had one. But he was like a strict improv jazz guy where he's like,
how can you be strict improv
like,
jazz?
he's-
Your job is to break all the rules.
well, he straight up like,
That just means you don't.
But-
like you show him like a piece
He's
of like
strict about.
you show him like a piece of sheet
Like-
music and he's like, ah,
almost.
no.
It's like more than that though. Like he was like, if you're playing improv jazz and you have anything that sounds like it was on purpose, he's like, it's not improv.
No.
It's
No.
like it has to be like it like you can't like have anything like repeat. You can't like have
Sounds like
and-
personal hell for me.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun music, but
Like
It-
unintentional music. No, I guess it's intentional.
it's very
just
intentional.
It's just not planned.
but yeah, I feel like
That
well, this is weird.
that was his thing. He was a weird guy. It was he was interesting though, but it was like stuff like that. You're like,
I feel like
he's like, most of these improv jazz guys, it's not real improv. Like he
I
was
have
like,
to see this documentary.
I don't know if they finished it. Honestly, I don't know.
Jazz guys
But
are either the chillest, or they are insufferable, or they're so hard to talk to because they're so socially awkward.
like, jazz is like literally everything.
the only language they speak.
Jazz is all consuming.
It just like has like consumed their whole life. To where it's like, yeah.
Recorded music? The
Oh,
jazz guy?
Probably.
Piper, I want to hear your insight on it too. Piper.
Well, Piper wasn't there.
But she's seen the documentary.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen the documentary. I was just there
What?
when we were filming it.
Okay.
But yeah, I can't remember. I know he said a lot of kind of crazy things. That was like the main thing I remembered because it was just like that is like way too intense to be reasonable.
That's Piper's nightmare. Sometimes I put on just like very jazzy stuff. There's this group, Domi and JD Beck, and like stuff adjacent to that, like if Piper is like a little bit hungry or a little bit tired, it can throw her off the edge like really quickly. Like I think I've experimented once or twice on Piper with jazz, and it turned out bad. I think a couple times. Recorded jazz isn't jazz. Oh yeah, talk to Bob James about that. Oh my gosh, dude, I saw Bob James. You know Bob James?
No.
You guys? He's actually from Michigan. He's from like close to Traverse City, I think. But he did the theme from Taxi or something. I don't know. Anyway.
They'd like secretly record him. Otherwise, he's like, this isn't real.
No, he was passionate about recording music, but he's one of the most respected jazz heads.
Except among the
I
real jazz
was gonna
people.
say, unless he came up
They
against old Steve here.
the orthodox jazz people
Oh my gosh.
that don't even listen to recorded jazz music.
Orthodox. Yeah, I know you just said orthodox, but it made me think of this joke I saw, and we keep talking about movies, but this kind of involves music because it's Electric Mayhem, the band in the Muppet movie. You're familiar?
I am familiar.
Do you know the scene where Fozzie Bear, he goes into the Presbyterian church and he sees Electric Mayhem playing and he says, "They don't look like Presbyterians to me." And they drive the joke deeper when Electric Mayhem breaks the fourth wall by reading the script and rereading the joke. And it sent me. It made me laugh so hard. Yeah, I know, Amy, but Royce told me about that, and so I thought it would be interesting because Royce cared. But Royce cares a lot about jazz, actually.
Yeah.
I read his newsletter this week, and it was about him having his own private jazz club.
I've heard that Royce never reads sheet music and also doesn't record stuff.
Oh wow, they're in the same boat.
Yeah,
then.
yeah, I've heard that's.
That's enough about jazz.
I'm gonna say, I don't know how much I can handle just like straight jazz. I like when music gets jazzy.
Fusion, right?
Yeah. But sometimes just like pure jazz is not.
What about jazz hands jazz?
Jazz hands.
That's not a genre. But the kind of jazz that makes you do jazz hands.
Whatever that
This
is.
is the best kind of jazz.
Fedora high school
jazz.
play type of
Yeah.
jazz.
No.
Desert Island album. Let's go.
Desert Island album? Okay, we're not done with jazz because
Okay.
there's
Oh, sorry, Ames.
bunch of, I guess it's European jazz. I don't know that much about it, but there's like a couple albums that I really, really, really like. And they're like, you know, like Estonians or something.
Yeah.
And it's jazz, but it's really, really, really good. Again, just like paints those. It gets my imagination like whirring all on its own.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta hear it.
But since it's my island, it's called Islands. I think that's the only reason I thought of it. There's probably other better things. Islands, by, it's called like Alboran Trio or something. Every single jazz band in the whole world is the something trio.
The Vince Guaraldi Trio takes the cake.
Alboran Trio. Yeah, what kind of piano does Vince Guaraldi have? That like tinkly sound.
I think it's all in the fingers.
Is it all in the fingers?
I think it's all in the fingers. And I think it's just old tape machines.
He's like little like tinkly sound.
I just think it's magic.
Oh, it
I
is.
think Vince Guaraldi's music is magical. Just the Charlie Brown album had no business being that mother freaking good. Like, it's honestly, I play that like November through January. But
Just
what from where? A jazz from where?
It's Alboran Trio. Let's see where they're from.
Alboran.
Alboran.
There's this record called, it's a compilation called Ethiopics or something crazy. I say something crazy because I don't know what the word is. They all repeat endlessly. It's all in the fingers. Yeah, the tone is in the hands. The tone is in the hands. The tone is in the hands. That I hear that phrase in my mind, because Piper and I took this songwriting class by a guy who's also a producer, and he kept saying the tone is a lot of times just in the hands. He's talking about recording music. Tone's in the hands. And I can never unhear that. But Ethiopian jazz is really good. There's this one song called Nostalgia that my friend Griffin Nebeker showed me when I was like a sophomore in high school, and it rocked my world. It has this like really buzzy, like low sax. It goes and it just kind of repeats this line, but it puts me in the perfect headspace. And it holds up since then. It's amazing.
Nice.
We need like a list. I mean, that wouldn't be hard to do.
A list of what?
Of the things we talked about.
Oh.
Yeah,
I've been sort of doing that.
Oh yeah.
But
this is called Nostalgia by Mulatu Astatke.
Okay.
Mulatu space Astatke, I think.
Got it.
Cool.
Mulatu. All right. I don't know what I ummed about.
I just thought it was weird that like an edgy teen was like, here, listen to this weird Ethiopian jazz song. And it just put me in heaven for a second. You know what I mean? Like,
no. When I was in like high school, like listening to music easily was not as easy.
yeah.
We didn't have Spotify. Barely had like iTunes store.
Yeah. Yeah, what did you have?
I'd listen to like my dad had just like a mail bin full of like
CDs.
demo CDs that was like 95% garbage.
Because it's all like unsigned artists.
And so I'd just like rifle through those and just like sample them and like see like what's there, and it was like almost all like terrible.
Like demo submissions.
Yeah.
Right.
And I actually have like a bunch of them like uploaded onto my laptop, my old iMac.
But a lot of it was for press coverage because of the magazine.
Yeah. So one of them that was in there was an Animal Collective.
Sung tongues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I found out about them. The very first thing of theirs that I ever experienced was
You might want to write
their
this one down
music
too.
video.
Animal Collective Sung Tongs. What music video? For which song?
Who Could Win a Rabbit?
Who Could Win a Rabbit?
That's an insane music video. It's very strange.
Remind me what happens in it.
It's a tortoise and the hare, and at the end, the
hare wins.
the hare wins and like eats the rabbit.
Oh yeah.
And it's like very like uncomfortable. It's very gory.
Yeah.
And unexpected. But yeah, that was like the first thing.
I don't
Immediately
know.
I was a
Piper.
fan.
They had a cult following
I've seen
from the
them.
beginning. You've seen them live?
Yeah.
I saw them play at Kilby Block Party. It was so cool.
They were really fun.
Yeah. Wait, tell me about the show.
I just remember it was like kind of crazy. I don't even remember. That was a long time ago.
Where was it?
I don't remember.
You don't remember what state you were in?
Well, was it in Utah?
It was in Utah.
I don't remember like which venue it was at.
Quick question: do we want more tea?
Yeah, actually.
All right.
I'm like loving this tea.
Groovy.
All
Right.
Because when I was at BYU, I would go to shows somewhat frequently with Dylan.
Mm. Yeah,
And-
I've heard about his
like,
music taste in your
Because
guys'
we went to
universe.
that was one that we went to. We went to Black Moth Super Rainbow. We went
that's
to
cool.
Of Montreal.
Right, yeah.
Girl Talk. Yay Sayer.
Yay, Sarah would be cool.
That was a pretty cool one.
That track, Ambling Up.
Yeah.
I loved
And
that song
we went
as
to
a kid.
Yeah, Andrew Bird.
Yeah.
What's the other guy? He's kind of like Andrew Bird.
Sigur-
Kishibashi.
Kishibashi, yeah.
Who else did we see? I don't.
Flaming Lips.
We did see Flaming Lips and Wu-Tang Clan
For Twilight shows.
and CSS.
Yeah.
It was CSS and Flaming Lips.
How was it seeing
The-
CSS again?
I didn't see him again.
Oh,
'Cause
you
I
didn't?
showed up later in the day. I would have, but I didn't feel like
They were
going.
so cool. They
They're-
were so cool.
They are.
I
really
will
cool.
never forget that show. You see my picture I got of her crowd surfing?
No,
I'll show you.
but they were really good.
That's so fun.
I would have seen him again, but I didn't want to be up there that long.
I get that. You're like, I have seen that.
Maybe if it had been like a little bit later in the day, but oh, nice.
They had the coolest visuals ever. Piper, you remember the CSS visuals? They were like memes and like it was like pure absurdity. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They oozed cool. Yeah. When I saw Animal Collective, there were a bunch of Phoebe Bridgers fans camped out waiting for Phoebe to come out at the
Yeah.
end of the night on that stage. And so you're just seeing a bunch of dehydrated, like, delayed bathroom goers, like, just like actually sitting down and like hanging on the barricades, like,
Yeah.
enduring experimental music. Like, yeah, it was amazing. Dude, I was so hyped. I was just being insufferable right behind these Phoebe Bridgers fans. Because, like, I don't know, like, I think the times where I've really truly let go and danced like a maniac by myself has been Animal Collective.
Yeah, I really like Animal Collective. I haven't listened to them in a bit.
New album's
But
good. I recommend it.
Because usually when I listen to stuff right now, usually it's like at work or something.
Right.
So usually I'm a little bit more. There's a lot of things that I'd normally listen to that I'm not gonna play.
Yeah, that's
in
true. No, I would
wouldn't-
say
I don't-
most Animal Collective is not like commercial music. It's not music you can play in a
You don't want to.
in a setting where goods are being exchanged.
Yeah.
Like Animal Collective is what you listen to when I don't know, when there's a full moon
the
outside.
the right
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So AIM says that they feel like they've missed out on a lot. You know, all we have is now.
You're too old to start. It's over.
It's over. I don't like FOMO. I think FOMO motivates me a little. I mean, it motivates me to buy a ticket or just at least put myself on the list now. Find a babysitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were talking about community earlier, y'all, and when I go to a concert, I feel like I have a community because I care about music too much in a weird way, and like when I'm surrounded by strangers that are into it, that's kind of all I need sometimes. Yeah, every band that ever was has played Block Party. Like, and next year it's just gonna fill in the cracks of people that haven't played, and it's just gonna keep growing. It's gonna be a Lollapalooza, Bonnaroo, Coachella, Primavera Sound situation.
Yeah.
But imagine it's 300 years ago, and the only way you can hear music.
He's the guy with the lute hanging out somewhere. Or your friend has a lute, and you go over to his place.
And you're like, holy crap, that was the only song I've ever heard.
I mean, honestly, you'd be like, are you magic?
Yeah.
And it wouldn't even have to be that good, and you'd just still be like blown away.
True.
Okay, here's my...
You're like, that's crazy.
My, I don't know what... My old-timey, oh boy, we're missing out story. This is kind of like a running theme through our chats. This is like the bed sheets of music. The bed sheets handmade by your great aunts that nobody does anymore. Now you get them at Target. But so a while ago I was just random thing you watch, but it was about these people in like the 50s and 60s who just went through like rural America and collected music. And they took it all back to New York, and then essentially that's like everybody comes out of that because they've like took it back and just like played it for like Bob Dylan and company.
True, yeah.
And so like, but it was so like it's like had like this huge effect on American music. So that's cool. But what I was
like folk in New York.
Yeah.
In the 60s.
Yeah, it just like rippled through like all of American music because they brought back just all of these recordings and just played it for everybody.
True.
And they went into like, so the one guy though, like that's a whole, I mean it was like a long video with lots of neat stuff in it, but the one thing that I thought was cool, this guy was talking about going through like Appalachia, and he was like, in the evenings, all anybody had to do was play music. So he's saying he's walking through like this valley, and there's just like all these families and they're just all on their porch like playing the guitar and singing, and he was like just like music like ringing like through like the whole valley, and he was like, I've never heard anything like it.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Like when I heard that, you get like a little like tear going down your cheek, and you're like, oh, I'm like, I want to play, and I have all my neighbors, and we're all out on our porches. Like,
you'll never get to experience that.
Yeah.
Instead, now they just like blast something on a speaker.
Actually, you get a sound curfew now.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. When we were starting up the record label and we were doing like house shows and stuff, like during the pandemic, like basically like, or like the tail end of the pandemic, like we were just playing at people's houses, and like we played in the alleyway at 3 Hive, and just like hearing my friends' songs, just with the Provo scenery around me, and just like
that's groovy.
And just being surrounded by friends, and we're just indulging in these songs that they're crafted, like that's cool. Like the first time I met some of my closest friends backhand those boys.
Is that
I
shows
was-
like that?
I was dude. I was on my. It was at the Blue House, which was kind of a communal space for a lot of friends, a lot of parties, and they were playing outside a garage, and I was on my way home from well, why am I spacing the word for a funeral? I was on my way home from a funeral. I was well dressed, and I passed by this punk show happening outside of this garage on my way home in Provo, and it looked so fun. And there was like 15 people there, and I saw a couple of my friends walking there, and they're like, "Dude, like you should come." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna hurry and change." So I go from mourning to just like kind of moshing around with some friends on the street, and like a cop is there because it's still kind of COVID, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, you know, I don't know why he was there, but church high is real. Church high is real.
Just in case you got too punk.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
You
think
had to, like, make
when
sure
there was like
raining
groups of
punk.
people, like cops would just show up. Like during COVID, it
Or
was
maybe
weird.
he was a super punk cop.
Yeah,
He
maybe.
was like, well, I'm just here to watch. He just wanted to see the show.
No, he was just like probably trying to figure out how long it was gonna go and whatever. But anyway, the experience was cool.
That's super cool.
And after this show, like they don't know who I am. They're probably just wondering who I am while they're playing the set, and I'm like in the front with my friends or whatever. And so we meet them after, and they're asking me who I am, and they're grilling hot dogs. So they hand me a hot dog, and they're just chatting with me. And then we just started sharing like our own home recorded demos. Just like on a speaker while sitting on this couch outside of this garage. And that was the most community I felt like all of COVID up to that point. It was like really cool for me. Like sharing my weird COVID demos with these guys I just met that made me a hot dog after playing a kick-ass punk show. Anyway.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I talk to Piper about this sometimes, but I have like when I mourn, it's like kind of disassociative.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it's like a family member or something, it's mainly been like cousins or like an aunt or something, you know? But, yeah, eating dogs. Yeah, they call it grilling and chilling, and that's what we would do. And they would call them dogs as well. They would call them dogs. But, yeah, so it was my cousin's funeral, and yeah, I didn't know how to feel much, but I had figured out how to feel a few things at this punk show. So, and they ended up joining the label that we started. So, and I ended up working with those boys, like with my dad's business a little bit, and it was cool. The tea kettle.
Tea kettle's sizzling over here. Yeah, but that's groovy.
Yeah, it was fun. They had this song about being nice. It was just like a punk song about being nice. It's their biggest song, actually.
Oh. I'm sure it's perhaps good, though my first thought is that's not very punk.
Right, but it is though. Like
It's so not punk, it's punk again. It's one of those.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, the concept is like punk is just yeah, going against the grain somehow. It's like, I don't know. They basically say it's punk to call your grandma on her birthday, you know, in the song, like stuff like that.
I mean, a good punk should.
Yeah,
Call your grandma.
yeah. Well, and there's this band called Idols, and they're kind of about just love and like equality and, you know, stuff like that. So they're against toxic masculinity and, all the, like, big issues in the world right now. And it comes through in their music. And, like, the audience responds in a very punk way. And they're moshing each other to, like, progressive messages that are wholesome. And,
like, clean your room, clean your room.
No, it's true, though. It's kind of true.
Do the dishes.
It's kind of about delivery. What's going on in the chat?
Yeah, we lost Philip, and I need
lost
him.
Philip.
I'm like hung up on a thought in that I think this tea needs just a teeny dash of salt, because you see, a teeny dash of salt will allay the bitterness. There's a couple things that fight bitterness. The sugar in it. Sugar will fight the bitter, because I'm a little worried the second time's going to get real bitter.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like I need to put a teeny bit of... Yeah, that is... Yeah. Good grades. Study hard. But be sincere about following your passions. So there's this little cooking thing.
Salt.
Yeah, just teeny bit of salt just will help kind of like combat the bitterness. It might not be. That's just my theory. Because this will be some green tea that will be, and some mint that will have been brewed for a long time. Which the longer you brew it, the more like. I assume you're sucking out like plant whatevers. I don't know.
It just gets more concentrated, right?
Yeah.
It's like Piper drinking the double black tea.
Philip, he's back. Everyone was super worried. But do you have a little salt I can use?
Salt?
Yeah. You got a little salt? I want all the salt. Just kidding, I just need like a dash. I need a smidgen.
Salt. Here's a salt grinder.
Alright.
I have a salt shaker.
Salt shaker might be a little
I
better.
also got baking soda.
No, don't need baking soda.
You also got dates?
Dates. I got...
We just need a
Grains of
teeny
paradise.
bit of...
I got saffron.
We got saffron. Oh, dude, we put saffron. That is too much salt. Just eat for like 30 plus minutes. Was that very, very bitter?
Yeah, Piper, was it bitter?
It would have been like hyperspace.
Did you add salt?
Possibly an hour. Yeah, I remember. So one of my first things I ever did with tea in college, I just was some green tea off the shelf, and I didn't know what to do, so I just like sat and steeped it for like 2 hours, and I put like 4 things in the mug.
Like pack?
Yeah.
Bags?
Yeah, and I was like, oh well, tea just tastes gross.
Yeah, I'm sure
You may as well
thought
just like
that.
open a packet and like chew
Yeah,
on
it
at
was
that point.
because it just tasted like, freaking tastes like mate at that point.
You just like put all of it in at once.
That's my dig at. That's my dig at mate. I don't get it. South America.
I like it.
I have a tough time. It just tastes so bitter.
It needs like some sweetness to it.
It does. It needs sugar.
Actually, that's true.
If you have it with like
That's what South Americans do. They add
Yeah.
sugar.
Well,
Yeah.
not Uruguayans. That.
Oh.
it depends, yeah, where
Every-
you're at.
Yeah, everyone else is smart and they add sugar, but Uruguayans just do the thing where they pack a whole thing full and then like put a couple drops of water in and suck it out,
And you're just like, ugh.
and it's so intense. But yeah, no, my brother-in-law does the Paraguayan thing where you put like orange juice in it and stuff, and that's actually
Ooh,
I can totally do
that'd
that.
be pretty good.
It's really
I-
good.
That sounds
I like that.
great.
It's super
Sounds
good.
like a yerba mate, like
Yeah,
just
like
from the can.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's super good. But the
With, like,
the
berries.
Uruguayan way of doing it is like
Dirt.
Just straight.
you're
Just grass.
you're like I just love chewing on like a cigarette. I don't know. Like
I know, it looks
At that
great.
point,
It's
it
kinda
just
great.
tastes like grass clippings.
yeah.
Just steep some grass
When the
clippings.
smell of the lawn makes you flop down on it. That's a Jonathan Richman song. Speaking of songs that are lyric driven as opposed to tone driven, that song, or like, there's this album called I, Jonathan, and I played it for Elliot, and he responded pretty well to it. But this guy just like, yeah, I don't know. He's like very lyric driven, but he's talking about whatever. Like, the opening track on the album is called Parties in the USA, and he talks about the lack of community. He talks about how people don't party like they did in the 60s. Like, in the 60s, when he was growing up, they would get together and they would party like crazy. And he's talking about how, like, now if a party's too loud, it's like a radioactive shipment because of, like, the low end of stereo bass and, like, and, you know, stuff like that. And then there's another song where he talks about going to a bar and it being uptight. Mm-hmm. And then he's dancing. He feels self-conscious about dancing by himself at this bar. But then a couple friends are like, if you want dancing, come with us. And he's like, and soon I was dancing at the lesbian bar. And so he's talking about how the first bar is like uptight and boring, but this bar is like people are having a good time. And yeah, I don't know. That record is lyric driven. That's like kind of a desert island album for me. Because it would make me have an undeniably good time, even though I'm like, you know. And it also sounds like a desert type of album. Like, I listen to it a lot driving down south for work through the middle of nowhere, you know, staying at these cheap hotels.
Yeah, what if your desert island was actually a desert off the coast of, like, Iceland? One of those.
Oh, shoot.
I think it's a tundra.
Then I'm listening to Bjork.
Alright, Ames, here goes. Poor little bug on the wall, ching ching. Nobody loves him at all. Ching ching. Oh my gosh. I forgot it.
I've never...
Poor little bug on the wall, ching ching. It's a Bluey song.
Oh, is it about
loves
killing them?
him at all. Something. Well, I think you have to have cool experiences, and apparently Tom's had a few to tell good stories.
I liked the bug on the wall song.
Hold on, I feel like I could just like hum this to myself at home without a single problem. But now that I'm like, I forgot the last half of the song because it's just like a little nursery rhyme thing. It's like I had half the song. Oh, no one to tickle his toes, no one to blow his nose. That's right. I wasn't gonna remember that.
I gotta sing this to Elliot so he quits stomping on potato bugs, dude.
Yeah. He's
been stomping on potato bugs. He's been ruthless about it, and he thinks it's funny. And I'm like, and I have to put on a Shakespearean show. I have to be like, no, Elliot, you killed him. You know, I'm like trying to dissuade him. But he sees a potato bug, and he's just like,
gotta stomp it.
Well, you'll be like, no, they're so nice, like these bugs, and you're like, they're all of heaven's little creatures. Right. And Madeline will be like, she'll nod at me and smile and be like, yeah, and then like,
but I gotta
and then like attack. Oh yeah, the poor little bug on the wall song gets stuck in your head for days. I've definitely just like walked around.
That's why we like demanded you finish it.
Well, that's why if it was just at home and I'm like singing it, I remember the whole song easy peasy. But on the spot, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I don't know what kids' songs are particularly catchy. Brush Your Teeth is always a go-to one for me. When you wake up in the morning, it's 3:45, and you just can't take it anymore. You brush your teeth. That one. But you can just like rhyme whatever with whatever hour of the morning it is, you know?
I mean, that's basically what that song is. He's just like saying nonsense.
I love that about Raffi. Yeah. He sounds like he's making it up.
Yeah.
Because he is.
Ames, it's the only time Elliot really gets like a good performance, so he just has to kill the bug.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then he just sits back and he's like, oh, yes.
I have to,
The
like,
acting.
I have to
Beautiful.
cry. I have to, like, cry on the spot.
And Elliot gets into it too. Elliot's like Hamlet. He's like, but I had to.
I don't want Ames to kill anyone because I can put on a show.
But I had to kill the bug father.
Father, do you deny my power?
The ghost of my father told me to kill that bug. Anyway,
That is how
I don't have
Elliot
to-
talks, though.
It is me, Elliot.
On some show
Patrick
that I don't
Stewart.
approve of that he saw, he learned about destruction a little bit.
Oh,
Oh.
Crush.
Crush. So next time he kills a bug, he'll be like, Crush. Crush. It's alright. Just part of life.
He watched the wrong thing, and he learned about crushing things.
You know, we kind of
And
banned
it was like
him from that show.
changed his life forever.
It kind of did for a second. I mean, we're trying to... Dude, all we've been watching is the Muppet movie. Lately. Past few days, it's been the Muppet movie over and over.
Like OG Muppet movie?
Yeah.
Wow.
78? 77. Sorry. 77. There's this Steve Martin scene.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Where he's the waiter?
Uh-huh.
Wouldn't you like to smell the bottle cap?
Yeah.
He's just like ruthless with them. But then you kind of realize that he just like, you're like questioning if he can't help it or if he's just being rude. What's your theory?
This is like a long tangent, but...
Go.
Steve
Martin.
Steve Martin. I think we've talked about this like randomly with friends at one point. So he was huge. Like huge.
Yeah.
And he just, like, whenever I see Steve Martin stuff, I, like, don't get it. I feel like he belonged super hard in his, like, time. Like, you should watch, maybe it's just me, but you should, like, watch a show. Like, I've watched, like, some of his stand-up, and it, like, bounces off me. Like, I don't understand it at all.
I think that's why I think it's funny. It's because it goes over my head.
Yeah,
And
so
I
that's...
like absurdist humor. I like kind of experimental humor. And, like, it comes off like that because I don't understand. Are they, like, pop culture jokes? Are they, like...
I think he's being Steve Martin, and Steve Martin at that time was, like... That was just, like... Again, I don't even, like, know. He was just bizarre. But... he was, like, gigantic.
Yeah,
He was, like, the biggest
Yeah.
at the time. Huh. Like, The Jerk, like, sent him into stardom, right?
Yeah, so... But, yeah, so that's my, like, weird Steve Martin thing. It's just... And it just like, that era. Because, you know, later, like, if you watch, like Father of the Bride or something, it's funny because you get it.
Oh,
Like,
right.
Like,
Yeah.
he's...
Well, it feels like it's more dialed in.
Yeah.
And it's kind of low-hanging fruit.
But his stand-up, when he got really popular, is just, like, bananas. And I like, honest to goodnessly, like, I don't even, like, it goes completely over my head.
Yeah.
And I asked my dad about it. My dad's like, oh, Steve Martin's my absolute favorite. It's so funny.
And you're like, why?
And I was like, I don't get it.
What's so funny about him?
So, yeah, it's the same, because I totally know that scene in the Muppet movie. And it's the same for me. I'm just like, what's he doing?
Well,
It's so weird.
That's what's funny about it to me is he's like he's the most hard to read waiter I've ever seen in my life up to this point.
Well, we talked about that on the movie one when we were like talking about comedy.
Did I talk about Steve Martin?
Well, no, not about Steve Martin, but
about how comedy belongs.
comedy. It's like so, like attached to whenever it was made.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
And so that's why like usually doesn't
Land,
age that
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Because like if you a lot of comedy movies, like if you watch it and you didn't see it at the time when it came out, you might there's been a lot of things where you're just like,
that's totally true.
I don't get
showed Piper Austin Powers while on a plane, and she's like, "Turn this off."
And you're like, you don't understand. When I was 13, this was the greatest thing on the planet.
Yeah.
AMC does get cuter every day. It's true. But no, I was watching Austin Powers. I was like, that bit is crazy. There was kind of a weird, like, very not dry. What do you call it? Wet humor, like like dripping wet, like sopping,
soggy.
Yeah.
sopping wet humor of the early 2000s. It just kind of went about as far as it could and went further because there was no line really.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It was just a product of 90s SNL and yeah.
No, yeah, there's
Tommy Boy is still funny. That's
Yeah, well
timeless movie.
there's certain
But I grew
things
up
that
with
do but for the most part my theory is that comedy is very much
Of its
Yeah.
of whatever time it is. There's a few things that can transcend that, but it's rare.
Yeah, like
That-
slapstick is
because-
always like you
because
can
that's
still
why
watch
we're
like a
like-
Charlie Chaplin movie and it's you're like, well, that guy got bonked on the head.
Yeah, that's always funny. You don't even need like words or anything
My
to get the
dude,
humor.
my daughter was laughing at like people getting bonked on the head before she was like responding to other like things in the world. Like it's pretty deep in us. We're like, that person just got bonked. Like we just like
Imagine if we couldn't thrive on imagine we couldn't laugh off that kind of stuff. It's just like horrible every time.
yeah, we're like yeah, if you
Oh,
watch
man.
something like that and
What
you're
a
like,
bummer.
yeah, we're like
Watching a fail compilation just puts you in a depression.
yeah. You watch like a Charlie Chaplin, you're like, this is a dreadful drama.
I know. It's
Like,
a tragedy.
Yeah, like that person got their head like stuck in a window. I hope they're okay.
Yeah. You're like concerned about
It depends
everybody.
on what you're motivated by. You
Yeah, they
might
got-
not laugh at that. Charlie the Unicorn. And you know what? And you never laughed at Charlie Bit Me? I thought Charlie Bit Me was funny because I was young and that kid had a British accent and what's funnier than that?
Just Charlie's just the funniest.
Charlie Brown is not funny. He thinks everything's a tragedy.
He's a tragic figure.
He's a tragic figure.
Charlie Brown is a tragic figure.
He's like the Edgar Allan Poe of
but funny things happen around
modern
him.
comics. Yeah. See, he's surrounded by comedy. See, that's what's funny about it, though, is he doesn't get it.
He's in like a
There's a low-hanging fruit, and he won't
goofy
pick.
universe, and he's just like this like
mopey kid.
tragic character. The like
Well, but he
doesn't
But
understand.
he's also he's trying real hard. He's very sincere.
See, that's where
that's
I can
his
really.
problem.
Yeah.
That is his problem, and everybody knows that. And like when they are like empathetic towards Charlie Brown, they're thinking about that. They're like, poor Charlie Brown. That's what they mean. But like we're all Charlie Brown. Like we all don't get it. There's like low hanging fruit comedy all around us. And I don't know. What's another Charlie?
Well,
The character Charlie in So I Married an Axe Murderer is really great. That's speaking of SNL.
yeah, I was
90s
about to say.
SNL.
Speaking of, what is his name?
Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, Austin
Mike
Powers.
Myers.
Mike
I mean-
Myers.
I mean, when you were describing that, I was like, oh yeah, that is like just what Mike Myers. It's just like how silly can you be? That's like
Yeah.
that comedy.
That is, I love that.
I mean, it's pretty
comedy.
great.
Like,
That is what it is. It's just like how like can you just be like as silly as you possibly can be?
oh,
Yeah.
behave.
Yeah. This is like very over the top.
Yeah. And is the thing bubbling?
When was the last time you even did anything?
I don't know.
That was like what we talked about. It's like comedy people, like comedians aren't Like, there aren't, like, big comedy movies really anymore.
There's no
We have a
comedy
whole-
movies.
We had,
They're
like,
not getting funded right now.
well, my whole theory on that is the nature of, like, streaming and stuff
True.
kind of, like, disrupted the comedy ecosystem. So now it's, like,
I think
much
Disney
more,
kind of disrupted
it's
it
much
as well
more stand-up comedy stuff now.
on
It's-
streaming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you are a successful comedian, you have a
Like, the
special,
direction you
like
go
a
is different.
stand-up.
Yeah, you do
don't-
stand
You don't
up,
have like your 5 movies.
Yeah, you
No.
don't. They don't do movies now. It's like they'll do stand up or have like a YouTube channel or
The
something,
podcast now.
and it's way more diffuse. So instead of having like a handful of really big comedians that everybody follows, it's like everybody kind of has like their like little niche comedy taste.
True. And it's kind of isolating, honestly, because it's like, did you see Office Hours this week with Tim Heidecker? No? Never mind. And,
Yeah.
like, what do you have to laugh about at that point, you know?
Yeah, it's not as like monolithic as it once was, where it's just like, oh, there's
The Will
the
Ferrell,
new
Ben Stiller movie.
new Will Ferrell movie or the new Jack Black movie.
I watched Step Brothers a while ago. It's pretty crazy. It's a good movie, actually. Didn't age well in a lot of ways, but like we were talking about. But as far as a comedy movie goes, it went about as far as it could, and I appreciate that. But you guys haven't seen Step Brothers.
No, I've never
So.
seen Step Brothers.
Which one is that?
Will Ferrell and
John C. Reilly.
yeah, Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah, he also plays Dr. Steve Brule.
Yeah, that's right. Timeless. Speaking of timeless things,
That is actually timeless humor. Yeah.
it's pretty great.
Piper and I have watched all of that, all of Steve Brule's material. Have you guys heard of Neil Hamburger?
No.
I feel like you would like Neil Hamburger because he's like, he kind of has this old timey feel, but he's like a pessimist, and then he's got like this comb over. He's got this like greasy comb over, and he always has this unnamed drink in his hand, and you never know. He never sips it. You never know what it is. There's so many different types of celebrities that I don't know. Yeah, I don't know any celebrities either. Like, who is Timothée Chalamet? Like, I actually don't understand. You know, I don't really get it. YouTube celebrities, like, if you're not subscribed, they're not relevant.
Well,
It's cable television made everything universal. That was like,
And on top of that, it's like those like little niches like come and go. So even if say you're subscribed to somebody on YouTube, at some point in like within like 5 years they might just like stop.
it's just the density of content. It's like,
I think
with so much of it, your heyday is a bit shorter. Like, your golden years are a bit smaller
well, I think
as far as reaching a wide audience.
there's just not going to be like huge celebrities.
Probably.
there'll always be something.
There'll always
Well,
be
there'll
something
be stuff
because
that
there
will
has to be
bigger-
something on the top, but they kind of
Yeah.
own everything though.
But the
they
thing
kind of own
is
that.
like a lot of the
corner.
like really big people that everybody knows, they're all like 50.
Yeah, it's true.
True.
And
'Cause-
like there's not many people that are like
Young that are like
20 years old that everybody's like, "Oh wow." Like if there's anybody that is big, they're like basically on the same level as like maybe slightly above like a famous YouTuber or something.
I think there's always going to be some like famous actor.
Well, yeah, there's always going to be people that are more well known than others, but it's not going to be like
glorious, glamorous movie star.
no. I think that's going to die. Everything's way too like diffuse.
just people
Yeah.
are everybody's making content now, so it's yeah.
And so-
Zendaya's a big one, huh?
Yeah,
a
but
young
the
one.
thing is she's
don't-
not on the same level as like an Aubrey Hepburn
right.
or something
Like, and she never
that.
will be
Yeah, because
No.
like
either.
Yeah, because like you said back then, it would have been everybody, because that's what you got.
Yeah.
That's playing whatever movie plays in the theater across the country.
That's like the one
and that's
thing.
like, it's not like you're like, oh yes, there's other things.
And
streaming
you'd go
services I can see. You're
you'd
just
go
like, oh,
see
that's the movie that's out.
Well, it's like you would go see a movie because there's like, oh, I want to see this person. Whereas like I know who Zendaya is, but if you were to tell me it's like, oh, this movie has Zendaya, I'd be like, I don't care.
I couldn't name one iconic moment with Zendaya. Like, I don't know. It's safe to say there was probably a threesome in a movie. You know? I'm sorry to say, but it's probably just something like that. You know? Like, what? You know? Like, what is so cool? I don't know.
Yeah,
Sorry. I just don't understand the hype because I'm not in the loop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
And I'm not in the loop because there's too much. And Piper is right. It is the same with music. There used to be 250 artists, and they were all on Capitol Records. And everybody bought all those records.
Yeah, guys, this is about music, not movies. What is going on here? This is the music
So
episode.
everyone had an opinion on the new Beach Boys album because everybody bought it on accident because they accidentally subscribed to Capitol Records monthly subscription somehow or something, because they did do that actually as a promotional thing. But like, there were 250 artists. That's kind of how it was.
Yeah. There's no streaming. There's no downloading anything.
It's really easy to have music taste. Yeah, I mean Piper, think about it. I've spent a long time curating like a niche circle of people, like as big as I can get it within a small geographical area. And most of them live in Salt Lake City.
Yeah. Well,
as far as people that I have similar music taste with. And even then, like at Block Party, I didn't see my friends at every set. I hardly saw my friends at any of the sets.
Yeah, well, you can curate everything way more now.
Yeah, it's true.
The options are so great that you're just like, I can be like, I'm a fan of Melt Banana, and 99% of people I tell that to, they'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Ames is right. It's like stupid that I know how to work. Like, I have to know how to work like video editing software and social media statistics and algorithms, and then also be a talented performer. I feel like oh, and AI music, yeah. You know, I actually was chatting with someone who's been using Chat GPT to help write songs. And they've been using it as a tool shamelessly. And he's just like, oh, it's just been making it easier for me to make quick musical decisions. I was like, okay, I guess that's one way to look at it. I don't know. It's like, but you know. But it's about output though right now. Yeah. It's like, how fast can you put more out?
And that's the content v art.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where it's like you're just making stuff because the environment demands you make more stuff.
Because you're on a platform like YouTube, and you're like, in order to be successful on this,
I have to post every month.
Yeah.
You have to be just constant. It's like very...
Yeah.
Well, I've said it before, the AI thing is, it's a tool that my only real concern with is that it'll make people lazy. You'll just kind of go with whatever it spits out.
I have done that. And I've almost made really bad art as a commission for somebody because of it.
Yeah, it's...
Actually, I sought your advice once while I was working on something. I was doing a skeleton on a motorcycle, and AI cannot build the human body. And AI cannot build a motorcycle, let me tell you. So, yes, I redrew it.
It's like it can potentially be helpful in some ways, but...
I mean, it kind of helped, like, replicate a gist of what I wanted, but then there was something generally off. you know, about the whole proportion. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have to redraw this anyway for it to
So
feel
you
right.
may as well just done it all from the ground up.
From the ground up at that point, yeah.
Yeah.
Truly.
So at this point, the second round, I'm not sure if you're supposed to do a second round of this stuff like this, because at this point, it's been steeped for
Quite
a
a
very
while.
long time. It might be very bitter. We'll
I-
see.
We'll
I
see.
wish you guys could see the Steam
I know.
backlit because it's like so fun to watch.
Yeah, the steam is super satisfying.
Yeah, they're looking at it from the wrong side.
Yeah.
Too bad.
So sad.
All
Had to
three,
be here.
all three of these glasses are like shooting up like a beam of steam.
It's
A steam beam.
like, that's a good color shining through.
And it is very like clear and pretty.
It's about as fresh as it looks.
But we'll see. It could be delicious. I don't want to like predispose you
I
with
think
my
it'll be
worries.
good.
I think it's just going to be perfectly good. Like the first time.
Like thinking about the content thing though is interesting. Cuz it's almost like a new element of the counterfeit art thing
Yeah.
that would have never crossed Tolstoy's mind. It's like an extra of like what, the 7 things that he gave for counterfeit art. It's like an 8th one.
So does it go under any of his subcategories of counterfeit art?
Because his,
Would never
I don't
know.
remember what they all were.
And I'm trying to like.
One's
It is a
it's
curveball.
it's like imitation, interest, which is just like doing something because it's interesting. Gosh dang,
What,
I don't remember. There's like
whatever
he
it is
explains
when
out. It's
when
very
you're doing something just for. Oh my gosh, what's the word? Like a Transformers movie where it's just for the spectacle.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like pure. I don't remember how
This-
he words it, but like pure spectacle. If you're like.
yeah, but he explains it
Yeah,
in detail. But
I'm like.
basically he has like these like different ways in which you can create like approximations of art, and he calls it counterfeit art. But the content mindset about it is like a new one that obviously in like 1890 he wouldn't have ever thought of, like the effect of something like a TikTok on art. And so that's like a whole nother thing where it's like how much art gets produced where it's just because like, oh, I gotta post like 4 times a day on like TikTok, and I gotta do my daily post on Instagram, and I need my like to just mill out all this stuff where it's like, does anybody have time for anything that they're making to actually be like thought through and like actually have like a sentiment behind it? How much of it is just like, all right, I'm just knocking this out, I'm just making this thing? And a lot of it kind of goes into one of his categories where it's just like, I played a piano with hot dogs and I recorded that on TikTok. You're like, there you go.
This is what a piano sounds like underwater.
Yeah, just stuff like that.
That's actually kind of cool, though. That's better than hot dogs.
But it's still like something where it's like they're just doing it because it's like, oh, isn't this crazy? When it's like, is that really like art though?
I think
Because-
it's art when this one guy, like... Have you seen the guy that just, like, gulps, like, a bunch of stuff? Like, eats, like, a mass amount of stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know which guy
Yeah.
I'm talking about?
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of people that do that.
I know, but there's this one where he drinks from, like, the biggest glass I've ever seen, and he does it all in one go. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna do it now. And he's got, like, this fedora. He's, like, this big dude, and he like, honestly, like, some content feels like art because it's interesting in all the weird ways. And then it just feels, almost Lynchian or just strange.
It's just bizarre.
And yeah, I this this is a whole other thing. This guy that you're talking about with his theory or whatever.
Yeah.
Or philosophy, like, he is not thinking about cringe content as a result of too much content. Like,
well, yeah, that's
I consume a crazy amount of cringe content, which is just like, because people are spitting out content and they don't know how to do it, a lot of it translates really poorly.
Yeah.
And it creates this cringe element that makes you uncomfortable. Kind of like a Lynchian thing. But it's just like a really buff guy with like a handsome Squidward face that's doing like an acting reel, basically.
And you're just like, what?
And you're like, this is insane. and
you're
like, I don't know. It's amazing. It's amazing to me. And I love it. I love it because it's the absurd. It's just the most absurd corner of humanity, and I love it. Like, Piper and I indulge in a lot of that, and some of it you have to actually quit watching because you're like, wow, I'm actually cringing so hard. I like feel like I'm a black hole right now. But
Tolstoy would say that's not art, for sure.
Yeah,
but
it's comedy.
It's definitely like
on accident,
crazy stuff.
Well, maybe it's like freaking it's like Zen koan art where it's so like it just like breaks your mind.
Yeah.
You're like, I've been transported into like surreal land.
Yeah, it is surreal. It's kind of surreal.
Just totally
unintentional. Because like you have this person where like you can just feel that everything about them, the way they look, is based on a delusional perception of themselves or something.
Well, it's like trying to like wrap your head around like, why did you post this?
Yeah, and it's amazing. That's the word I have for it, is that the fact that there's so much of that at my fingertips to just like break my mind is quite interesting. It's interesting that I can walk away with that with a smile on my face though, and just like go about my day normally. Like, you can't consume too much of that content, but in my opinion,
it's sweeter now.
But you see, Ames, there's probably some sugar left in the bottom. You see, Ames, I'm not making any content about it. I'm just quietly and sincerely trying to drink all the water in all the biggest glasses. I'm not putting it on show for the world. It's just I'm just out to like get everybody all their water and drink as much of it as I can. It is true. I love big glasses. It's because then you don't have to go refill it as much.
Yeah.
And I drink a lot of water.
I've been drinking so much water lately.
Yeah, I don't.
It's like I have this fear of dehydration now.
I mean, you might dehydrate and die.
I know, I could die.
Like a little raisin.
I could turn into a raisin at any point, so I should be hydrated. You know, yeah, I've been more hydrated than I think I ever have lately. Also, Piper and I spent like $40 on hydrating bevs. Like, we bought like 3 different kinds of sparkling water. And I got some free sparkling water from Block Party. I almost peed my pants driving home from work today too. It's a long commute, you know? It's so long. And Piper set up for me to pick up a bed frame for Elliot on Facebook Marketplace, which was in Saratoga Springs, which is actually really hard to get to, even if you leave at 3:30 from Salt Lake. But a Friday on Memorial Day weekend is a bit high P on the freeway. It's a bit crazy, a wild vibe. And yeah, my right contact went blurry due to allergies, probably from Kim's cat somehow through her car that I was driving. And so, yeah, my right eye's blurry, and I have to pee so bad because I'm drinking a Liquid Death. Just a plain, not sparkling, just a Liquid Death. You know, the lady next to me at the stoplight's probably thinking I'm drinking beer. And then I've got a Sprite for no reason. I just saw it in the fridge, in the Help Yourself fridge at work. Yeah. So I'm sipping on that. And then I'm also just like, I don't know. Actually, I wasn't sipping on anything else. No, but yeah.
You were sipping on 3 things?
No, I had my water bottle, but I was like, I wasn't drinking my water bottle. But yeah, I get to this house to pick up this bed frame. I'm like loading up this bed frame, and I'm like, whoa, I'm gonna pee. I'm gonna
so
pee.
you still
and
gotta drive home.
No, it's like, have you ever had to pee so bad you like start sweating? Never mind.
I don't know if I've been sweating from
No,
it. I've had to pee real bad a few times.
I can definitely think of times I've had to pee really bad. I don't know if I recall. I don't think I've ever had to pee that bad.
Maybe I was just sweating because leather seats. I don't know.
You like get stuck to the leather seat.
Yeah, dude, I'm not used to leather seats.
It's true. You have to like peel yourself off.
Have you ever driven bareback on a leather seat?
Yeah.
On a hot day. You almost
just
started
like-
crying,
you're ju-
Piper? Oh no.
You're just
I was sweating, I wasn't crying. So my sweat has piss in it, and your tears have piss in them. I mean pee.
Who's listening? Tender little ears.
I am trying to filter how I talk.
Who's listening? Is poor little Bradley still listening? So we can see that there was a bump.
There's 3 people.
Yeah, we lost somebody.
I think it was.
Who is it?
I think it was
I
Bradley.
think it was Bradley. Abandoned us in our time of need.
Water drinking mukbang.
Oh yeah, we were talking about hydration. He's like, I gotta go get a glass of water.
No, he got out of here way long ago.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, I
a
don't.
while.
I'll be like, hey guys. It'd be a. Yeah, we're actually doing a ASMR with our tea right now. Here we go.
Do you want affirmation ASMR too? You will not be your pencil driving tomorrow. You're doing so good. I hate that one. Like whisper affirmations?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever been whisper affirmations at.
ASMR is a weird thing.
ASMR is a strange thing. I had to play a game. You're back.
Yeah, you don't have to come back.
You don't
just
have
for
to
us.
play a game.
Yeah, or
Just
yeah,
kidding.
yeah, that one. You don't have to play. Wait, what game? Maybe if it's a cool game.
Was it Skate 4? Because I would not be here if Skate 4 was out.
Well, it's just getting real deep, Bradley. We're not getting like silly at all. What was
Whisper affirmations.
yeah, whisper affirmations. No, I don't. ASMR doesn't do anything for me, so I don't ever listen to any ASMR.
Makes me cringe, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
I remember.
Were you there in the lab? I don't know. One day,
In the laboratory?
in the laboratory. Yeah, okay. Let me specify. The animation lab,
Oh, right, yeah.
the animation studio, when we were going to school.
Eliza's the one in the chat usually, so it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
understood. I get it.
And so, once upon a time, some new freshman student who I did not know was like, "Have you guys ever heard of this ASMR thing?" And we're all like working, and our professor was in there, and she's like, "It's so good, guys, so good. We got to put it up on the big screen. We got to put it up." And everyone was kind of like half ignoring her, and the teacher's like, "That's nice." And she just goes ahead and like slaps up this like ASMR, and it plays for like 20 minutes, and everyone's like, I mean, speaking of like cringing, right? Everyone's just like, we'll just like weather this storm, as the person's like, now I'm going to comb the left side of my hair, right? And this girl was like, she'd found something that she was super into, and she wanted to share it, but
Everybody's like, wow.
I don't know if she
You know,
knew that like it
Yeah.
affects like like 2% of people or whatever.
2% of people that like being in a closet with another person virtually.
Yeah, I know.
That's so weird.
I don't
I-
know. Doesn't
Well,
it like
back when I had an office job, I tried listening to ASMR just because I was just be like bored. I was like, I'm gonna listen to this with headphones, and it was like very uncomfortable.
Yeah, see if it tickles your
and I
brain.
just like it did nothing for me. It was just like uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they'd have ones where it's like haircut, like LARP, and it'd
Yeah.
just be like scissors getting next to the. Yeah.
Yeah, here, try it. Get as close as you can. As close as you possibly can.
I know we're kind of ragging on this, but if you're really into it,
And it was so uncomfortable. And they're like,
So she wasn't there.
How was your day? Your hair is so nice.
I love you.
Yeah, it's like what?
Basically, like,
it's like this is making me really
I mean,
uncomfortable.
I guess there's a place for it. Like, I don't know.
again, I think, doesn't it like tickle people's?
Yeah.
Like it's not like that they're like, oh, I love being whispered to. It like,
There's a serotonin thing, though.
yeah, it like gets their brain in a weird way.
Yeah.
No, Cynthia would have been totally. Cynthia.
Oh,
just,
the scissors, you guys.
it was a. Oh my gosh, it was. Again, I can't like memory recall on the spot tonight. Who's the digital painting professor?
Sam?
Sam. It's Sam. I was like, Josh. It's not Josh.
No.
There's nobody named Josh. Yeah, it was Sam. It was Sam in there.
I don't like the
Piper.
scissors.
Piper emphasizes she hates the scissors.
You don't like the scissors.
Oh no!
But what about?
Don't do it again. Don't do it again.
Oh, never mind. I can't see anything.
Yeah,
What about the tea slurping?
Yeah. What about the tea? Is that? It's like somebody's drinking tea, right? Like.
Right next to your ear.
Slurp, 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 slurp.
This is not the worst day of your life. This is not the worst day of your life. This is not the worst day of your life.
Yeah, you could do like.
Every day is Christmas.
If every day is Christmas,
Oh, that's a good one.
then no day is Christmas.
You have to go a little slower and a little harder.
I can't do
Oh,
it. I can't
no,
do it.
no,
I
no.
can't do it with one hand.
You know, there's no pop filter over there, so maybe that's part of it.
This is the only pop filter I have. But I don't have a cable to plug this in right now.
Just slap that right
This
on
is
the
my
top.
nice
Of it.
microphone.
We don't. Yeah, he keeps his nice microphone. We don't get to use it for this.
What do you use your nice
Philip's like, we get the.
Oh, okay,
Special
so they don't like any of the ASMR. So like, oh no, oh no.
Okay.
You know, wait though, unsubscribing, that would push someone to just push out content that's just generally interesting and safe.
If
The
people
threat?
unsubscribe,
Yeah, just like subscriptions. Like people want to subscribe to safe content, like
well,
reliable
they
content.
just want to subscribe to
Consistency.
the thing they're interested in,
True, that's true.
whatever that may be.
Yeah, like when someone that you're subscribed to and they do something outlandish that's just not your vibe, do you just unsubscribe even though
And
you're
you're
still
like-
interested?
And you're like, I trusted you.
I trusted you. You
To make-
betrayed us.
To make the exact content I wanted.
No, you're supposed to do that same bit 500 times.
I was telling Philip when we were talking about this last
That's
time.
TikToks though. Same bit. If you go viral,
Oh my
you keep
gosh.
doing the bit.
Yeah.
Same bit. Sorry, go ahead.
It's
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's
You're
like,
like,
a nightmare land.
yeah, you're like another stranger. I played piano with another stranger on another street corner.
Well, it's like sometimes
And
like
everybody was-
so much worse though. Like it'll be something like, here's like my 500th video of me doing the exact same dance to the same song. It's like, why? It's like
Different outfit, you know.
sometimes it's not even a different outfit though.
Bradley, you never told us what game you were playing.
If they flood your feed, like if they take over, like they're posting more than other people you're subscribed to.
Yeah, well, because, like Ames said earlier, a lot of times content creators will, like, flood your feed if, you know, like, if you've got a bunch of family and your family only posts once a generation, and the rest of the thing is you're like, yeah, you get flooded.
The same bit every day.
and you're like, this is what I'm here for. Do the dance.
Do it again. Do it again. Dance, monkey dance.
Yeah. Certainly you won't get burned out.
Tradition. Recurring nightmare. Yeah, maybe it's...
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, don't... Yeah.
Helldivers?
What was... I lost my train of thought. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I mean, okay, speaking of music, sort of. I was telling Philip when we were talking about this or the last time that I had actually considered for like a topic like the art versus content for us to talk about based on I like stumbled across just a whole slew of YouTube videos just of people that were like bumping up against this, you know, that they were like fed up with it, and they were like all musicians. They were like, there was other people kind of like taking up the topic, but when I watched the first video, all of like the recommended, which were all like kind of the same thing, and they were just all musicians complaining about that. I don't know why that would be in particular, but I guess that's all I got.
It just takes up space that they could occupy with their, you know, heartfelt tunes.
I think what's probably happens is you're like, I gotta crank stuff out and I want to continue to, like, you know, really be passionate about it. Right. And you just get fried.
Yeah.
My theory is it's just kind of like capitalism and like a power thing that kind of causes all these issues a little bit. I think it's just kind of fueled, just fans of flame, you know? But it's just like, how can Instagram capitalize, or Meta, like, the most on you as a human, you know? And that kind of, and so, like, you know, an Instagram update is just kind of another step towards getting more of your attention, you know? It's just another move. Another brick in the wall, as they say.
Oh, man.
Which is a reference to The Wall.
Which is my
band. Which is
my upcoming YouTube video, which will say, you never knew that they were right all along. I won't even say and just have like so I was trying to do a good clickbaity title. It's harder than
it is hard, actually. You know, I wouldn't say
it takes real skill.
It takes art. Just kidding.
The art.
Clickbait. I love good clickbait. Like, there's this one guy I followed from a long time ago, and he's just kind of taken up my feed. We keep talking about this stuff, but Anthony Fantano, you guys ever heard of him? He reviews music. He's got the flannel, you know. Anyway, he uploaded a video yesterday. Late stage capitalism technology that gives instant gratification. It is a mess. It makes us little shells versions of ourselves. That's what it makes us. Anyway, 13 things Instagram doesn't. That's good. You guys are killing it. Doctors.
Well, I was trying to...
Oh, but anyway, he uploaded a video that was like, am I on crack or something like that? Or like, it was just like, it just kind of left it up like, is he on crack? You know, nor is he, you know, nor is he doing cocaine or whatever. And like number 7 will shock you. You got to watch the whole thing. And yeah, he took like same thing. He took the whole video to just explain allergy season and how he just has, he does this weird thing with his nose, like sniffs, and and I don't know. Like he's like, people are speculating that I'm doing this, but he takes a 10-minute video to explain, his weird behaviors and stuff, that people were speculating about.
And you were like, it's okay.
It's like, it's all right. Like,
I Dude, wait, look at the scissors and the thing. Things have gotten Lynchian on accident.
How do we make it more Lynchian?
How's
that?
Yeah.
Is that better? How about this?
Yeah, if there was like blood, like some like bright red blood coming out of your fend.
Or how about this?
So I was looking on YouTube just to see if somebody had already made something called like Pink Floyd Tried to Warn Us or something like that. Not yet. So it's still ripe.
There's definitely going to be like track breakdowns in the style of like deciphering revelations from the Bible about Pink Floyd though. I like music conspiracy theories. Do the 9 fingers trick. Here, wait. Yeah, here. Pour that in there while I'm doing this.
Oh, yeah. We need to clip that and send it to David Lynch. I mean...
Have you listened to any of his music?
I have a record. I have a Twin Peaks season 2 record.
Like
like his own music?
Yeah, where it's like Crazy Clown Time or something.
Wait, we're not slurping on purpose now?
We're just talking, Piper. What are you talking about?
Are we drinking too loud, too close to the mic?
It's really hot tea. How are we gonna drink it otherwise?
Yeah, you're supposed to slurp it. It's like the... So the tea lady and her daughter insisted. Once they poured me like blazing hot tea, and I was like, they were like, drink it.
Drink it, burn your mouth.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm gonna wait a second, and they were like, no, you just put it up to your lips and you do that, because you can. It's not quite that hot. It's still pretty hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like trying to give me the technique, and I was like, I don't want to drink it.
Like
Interactions with the tea lady is always a party.
Piper, I think you're jealous. This is the best tea I've ever had. I'm serious. The lore unfolds.
Oh yeah, tea lady has a daughter who is like tea lady can hardly speak, but daughter was raised here, so she can like answer all the questions and tell you everything. Yeah, she lives in like Oregon or something, but when she appears, I have to like think of every single like question or concern or anything I've ever had.
So she knows a lot about tea.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
she's
like a 30-year-old.
But that's not her pathway, is it?
No, I haven't. I don't know.
Yeah. See,
I don't know.
I tried to get as far as I could into that lore.
Yep. Honestly, the lore is still unfolding.
We communicate drink hotness based on sip size. It is kind of true, yeah. Oh yeah, we say little sip. It's little sips. This one is little sips. Yeah. We do say that.
This is still pretty.
This is still really little sip.
Yeah, this is still pretty hot. I'm trying to drink it quietly though, so as not to.
You know what bothers me?
Harm Piper.
I think people don't get excited about things. I get excited about things. I'm not saying that's something cool about myself. I come across as a hype guy because I actually, when I love something, I let you know. Did she major in tea at a Chinese university? That was basically my question. Wait.
I'm kind of jealous. I say that, but when you major in tea at a Chinese university, it's probably like being like an agriculture major. It's probably like everything else, very involved.
Right.
And hard. But yeah, I'm like jealous that they have tea at their universities.
A tea class?
Yeah. Like it's like a thing you can study and
It's a complicated field.
It's involved. It's very involved.
So what does late stage capitalism drive you guys to do?
I always question why people think it's the late stage. It could just be the early middle.
Oh no! Wait, yeah, that's true.
I don't know why people think it's the late stage.
How about
Is that wishful
What's
thinking?
that
How about the
based on?
current stage?
Yeah.
It makes me want to buy a farm.
Oh yeah, I
So-
have like
I don't have the work ethic of a farmer, but
I have all sorts of like escapist fantasies like that.
let's hear one.
Watch Bluey. Yeah, watch Bluey. It drives me to watch Bluey because it drives me to Disney Plus. And I'm like, yes, Disney Plus.
Yes, govern my home, Disney Plus.
I'm like, thank you, Disney Plus. Thank you for putting 101 Dalmatians on for me.
This is what we do, though. We've been putting old cartoons,
yeah.
old movies from Disney Plus on.
I kind of got tired of it in like a weird way. I like watched them all, appreciated them, and then I'm like,
Like, all right.
yeah, I don't
Now
like.
what?
Yeah, it's like a content thing. I just need more and more.
You
It's
got
kind
them
of-
all. They're all at your fingertips.
Yeah, well, it's kind of actually how I've been treating
It's not permanent.
stuff that I've had little Madeline watch. Is that once I finish one, it's not like when I was a kid and I had a single X-Men VHS, and I watched that like 5,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
With little Madeline, I'm like, all right, well, we watched that one series. Let's go find another one.
Yeah.
And I've done that like half a dozen times now, and I'm like not going back to the other ones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're just like, but it's almost for me. Even though I'm only like half watching, from like as I like pass through the room. But I'm like, I don't want to watch that show again. I'm watch a brand new one.
Mhm.
Yeah. Piper, I want to know through the chat if this drives you crazy, but I actually crave familiarity. Like, I want to see something 2 times over. I want to see, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, actually, I do watch Ghibli movies over. It's like,
Same with music too. Same songs over and over and over and over.
I think that's pretty. I think most of us really. Yeah, Great Mouse Detective even as a kid, that one was a little scary.
Peter Pan's one of the most violent Disney movies I've ever seen in my life. So there's that. Tinkerbell, the cute Tinkerbell, that is the mascot of Disney, basically. Dude, she tried to kill a young girl in the first 15 minutes of the movie. Kind of
And
Shakespearean.
I'm not even gonna bother with Fox and the Hound.
Oh, that one. That one just kind of like puts me in a weird funk.
It does. we can.
It
just
makes
now,
me like get really existential.
Yeah, now we can talk about just like what's his bucket, Mr.
Treasure Planet.
Mr. An American Tale.
What?
I watched Land Before Time with my daughter.
Oh, yeah.
It is a super, super sad movie. Also, because I watched that one a whole bunch as a kid, and I hadn't seen it probably since I was like 5, and it did like weird things to me because of that. Like I was like in the room
Because the most like
hearing the music.
early memory.
Yeah. Like I was like, I almost stopped it a couple times, but I like powered through it. Because it's very sad. It's about the little dinosaur losing his mom, and it doesn't like tiptoe around it. It like hits you with.
All those movies.
It,
All
like,
those movies goes right to the tragedy.
Yeah.
Family tragedy.
Oh, yeah.
Don
What's
Bluth.
What's the guy who did Don Bluth? Don
Yeah.
Bluth movies are wiggity weird. Because at the same time, they're like cloyingly. The characters are like cloyingly cute.
Yeah.
And like obnoxious, but then they're also like, there's some like dark, nasty stuff happening.
Yeah. True art.
They're pretty good, honestly.
There's
like
a reason why they're.
as far as like animations go, but I feel like they're definitely like lost to time and not coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Littlefoot's mom. That movie, and I don't need to like go off on freaking Land Before Time, but it's like post-apocalyptic because they're like trying to get to the Great Valley, and like the backgrounds in it are like scary. That's like, I didn't register that as a kid, but watching it I was like, whoa, this is, the whole thing was like kind of heavy. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of, that's adorkable babies, like, surviving in like a dire situation. It's a weird
Tarzan
movie.
has made me cry
Oh,
multiple times. I will admit, because I've watched it with Elliot 3 times, and yeah, each time, it's, I don't know, dude. You see his parents' blood. You know, like, it's a bit real. You know, his parents are dead. It's crazy. But then, the gorilla and the song, you know, it's touching. It's really, truly touching. I won't tiptoe around that.
It's like
And he's the cutest baby. Tarzan is the cutest baby.
he is a cute baby. It's like it's like Madeline's father, my father-in-law, crying during like Kung Fu Panda 3 because they have to. I've never seen Kung Fu Panda 3, but I guess it starts with them. The panda village is under attack, and they set Poe adrift. Right?
Yeah.
They have to attempt to save his life, and you know he's like, oh, my child, you know, like my father-in-law cried.
Oh. Oh, yeah, I'm a softie. I'm a softie, dude.
No, dude, anything with like parental stuff in movies. Now you're like, oh no. Like it gets me. I'm trying to
While
think
Piper
of
was pregnant, dude, commercials would mess us up.
You're like, they do have that washing machine and they are so happy.
As a family.
As a family.
Yeah, dude. Mid stage capitalism, whatever you want to call it.
Possibly early mid capitalism. Possibly just getting started.
Pre-capitalism.
But yeah, you know, a product of that is commercials making me cry because they know how to manipulate me.
Although it also makes me uber de duper cynical.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
like mad
Me
about
too.
commercials now.
I'm pissed about them too. I used to just like how dumb they were, but now they're
You just like to become aware of
that there's
just manipulation.
Yeah, there's like a hand behind it, and all it's trying to do is manipulate me into buying a thing.
And then you're like, see that in like all sorts of stuff.
Oh, you see it everywhere.
And you're like, oh.
Capitalism is
capitalism is so
that
mid.
capitalism is so mid.
I mean, it's just like when you have a moment where you're like, I can't escape it, and you actually have to drive up to Battle Creek and walk up the mountain and look at the valley from a distance, and you're like, I don't see a billboard right now.
Oh, I was about to say, there's some billboards.
I don't look that close. Not when I'm in the mountain.
That's honestly it. We should do a roast of I-15.
A billboard roast.
We could do a live stream while driving on I-15.
Just back and forth.
And we're like, billboard. Dude, where again, where my in-laws live in Virginia, there's like not a billboard in sight. And there's like some pretty like densely populated areas. But I just remember one time I was driving through and I was like, something's different. And I was like, there's no billboards here.
Yeah.
No, there's like a ridiculously high density of them.
Yeah.
You know, just like driving on I-15 and like in my single commute on average seeing like 2 accidents a day like on the side of the road. And then like just understanding that there's a billboard above every single one of those accidents that happens basically.
And it's something crazy, like a Ken Garf.
Right.
One where it says something
or it's like Siegfried and Jensen, like we've like won $2 billion for our clients, you know, like, yeah. Anyway, no billboards. No billboards.
Yeah.
No billboards.
Yeah, let me tell you a story of a land.
That's
far
ASMR
away
for me. No billboards.
where there was not a billboard in sight. Actually, the funniest was years ago. We drove through, like, I don't know, South Texas and Arizona, just on our way home. And there were tons of billboards on this section of the drive, but they were just like split between 2 different lawyers. So there was like a gajillion billboards, but it was all the same. Like 2 lawyers, and it was like their 2 billboards.
2 battling lawyers.
Yeah, for like 1,000 miles, and we're like, what is this?
You guys see billboards in Vegas?
Yeah.
Just like
for porn. It's like
well,
porn and
there's
lawyers.
Also, it's true. Yeah, it's like porn and lawyers. It's like I don't know. It's like enticing lawyer after enticing lawyer.
Yeah.
And they just try to make it look like an action movie poster, kind of. And there's just like 300 of them.
Yeah, Vegas has always been.
It's a weird place.
It's absurd. Yeah, Piper and I went down there. Ames is also there.
We've talked about the plastic surgery a couple times.
Yeah.
I like it's like a distinct memory, or that is to say, I can't remember exactly when, but it was when I remember.
Plastic surgery billboards.
Yeah, I remember like as a teen, just one time driving through Salt Lake and being like, suddenly there's like only plastic surgery billboards. It was like when they appeared, and they've never gone away since. But like,
I feel like there's not as many.
No, it was.
Oh
There
my
was
gosh.
a time it was like suddenly that's just what there was. Injured in a hotel.
That was a common Vegas one, actually. That was a reoccurring Vegas one. Oh my gosh.
Like, we'll get him.
We'll get that hotel.
Do you think it's
For some reason, Piper, I felt more safe in our Vegas Airbnb than I did our LA Airbnb.
Yeah, because you knew you had like 300 lawyers got your back.
Yeah.
True.
You're like, if anything happens, these guys have got me.
Driving in Vegas is crazy.
It's a headache.
Yeah, it's really insane. Like, you're leaving the strip at like 10 at night, and it just kind of feels like you start thinking about your kid at home. And like everything that's led up to this point in your life kind of flashes before your eyes as you merge lanes. Because there's just like Uber drivers that are just like swerving around each other everywhere. I'm more scared of Uber drivers in Vegas than I am drunk drivers in Vegas. Anyway.
They're just like swarming you.
I'm more scared of the Uber driver driving me in Vegas than I am every other Uber driver on top of all of the drunk drivers.
They're probably also a drunk driver.
That's a combo. Mixers. It's like
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I actually don't know.
They're all the ones where they're the little like drink mix-ins for women where it's like, is it a hormone imbalance?
Wait, what?
They're all like reddish pink. They're like little drink mix-ins.
Oh.
And they all say some.
Okay, I think.
Yeah, they all say something like, "Is your varicose veins a hormone imbalance? I don't know. Is your period spectacular?" I mean,
Is it a spectacle?
is your orgasm spectacular? They
That's
all like,
amazing.
yeah, yeah. They sort of cropped up fairly recently.
Is that like the new Young Living? Oh.
I like the signs that are asking if you're going to hell or not. Because, like, if I'm going to ask myself a question,
you're like, am I?
am I going to heaven or am I going to hell? That's kind of a more fun question.
You're like, good point, sign.
Good point, sign. You got me there, sign.
You're like,
You actually got me that
you're like,
time.
that's a pretty big one.
I'm not calling, but you got me thinking. It's weird driving through Nebraska and then getting in Iowa, and then there's like a billboard that's like 2 football fields away from the road.
I know, yeah. A lot of them are like so far away.
I can't even read them. They're not even effective for me. And I love it. I actually love those kinds of
it's like out
billboards.
in the middle of like
I will
somebody's,
take those
pasture
billboards.
land. And you're just like, yeah, you can't read it
And
at
you're
all.
like, we have to keep stopping,
And it will be like a huge billboard too.
walking into the field.
But it's like so far away. You're like,
Piper doesn't like Nebraska. I love Nebraska because I grew up around mountains, and I just love to be able to look out and not see anything in front of me, honestly.
It is kind of a trip, actually. It's
I like flatland and just being able to see the back of your head, you know?
I mean, it's kind of like seeing the ocean or something. It's like so expansive.
It is, honestly. Like I said, it is really like a kind of like a trip when you've grown up, like in a valley. And you're like, sky as far as I can see.
Yeah. On my mission, I noticed that I was getting pretty fed up with being inner city because here you can look at the mountains and feel some kind of escape from whatever.
Yeah.
But in California, you had to go to an orchard. So I would bike to the outskirts of town and find orchards every once in a while. Just bike through an orchard for a second, catch my breath. You know,
You don't just feel like you're just in a concrete
slum all the
trap.
time.
Yeah, same thing happened to me in New Orleans. I didn't go on mission there. I just worked
Right.
there for like a year. And yeah,
I didn't know this.
I started
actually.
going crazy. Like I like started like walking out into places where in retrospect I was like I probably would have like eaten by a croc or something. Because I was just trying to like find some like little like natural getaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the danger in Oregon with trees? Bears?
Drop bears.
Are bears like the gators of Oregon? I feel like gators are pretty common over there.
In Oregon?
No, in
In the trees of Oregon?
in the south, in
Yeah,
New Orleans.
like the rivers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're pretty.
They are. I saw one just
that's
like.
insane. That's
So-
just so crazy. They're dinosaurs, dude, and they're capable.
Oh
they're
yeah,
crazy.
vampires straight up. Vampires love it up there. I've heard.
Oh, in Oregon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've heard that too. I've been hearing that since I was in high school.
No, so without doing a whole story, like I was looking for like a little slice of nature, and there was this what was listed as a national park, but it was straight up like just like a tiny like plot of grass like the size of this room
Mm-hmm.
with like a swing set. But there was like this path leading off of it, and I was like, oh, like a little trail I can go down. It was like the scariest trail I've ever been down. But there was straight up like I was just like strolling through, and I looked over, and there was like a gator not very far away, and it was, I mean, it's probably the only like gator in the wild I've ever seen. But I was like, oh, it's like a gator, like, and I I'm like, if I like step off this path, like I could get got.
Yeah.
And it was like a little footpath, like not like a
Yeah.
trail through the jungle, but it was just like a footpath from the like little thing like off into the trees. But the thing is, it's all so dense. You have to like cut a tunnel basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the extent. I saw
That is what early stages of capitalism is pushing you to do, is get eaten by a gator. You just need an escape. You need to breathe. You need a moment of peace.
Honestly.
And what do you find? You find a monster.
Yeah, I find a dinosaur. That like. Oh man.
You just
Speaking
have to
of
go
dangers,
wrestle.
speaking of wandering after going crazy and finding dangers, Elliot and I went up Battle Creek, or like up by the G yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was actually really busy. I think school just got out or whatever.
Yeah.
And
weekend.
and it was a weekend, and it's close to Memorial Weekend, so a lot of people were there. But we just go off to the side, and I was trying to catch the sun a bit because the sun was going to set soon.
Yeah.
And so we're going up the side of the mountain, and I decided to go up this trail, and it's really steep. I think it's just a deer trail. I didn't think it was a people trail. And so Elliot and I are just like braving this really steep hill, and he's like slipping. You know what phrase he got really into? I did it while we were doing that.
Yeah.
Because he kept slipping, and like I would just hold him by his arm.
Yeah.
And he's like if I let go, he'd just like slide down.
He would just like roll down.
And I'm like, why am I dragging my child up this deer path right now? And I was trying to stay out of people's way, and I was like, oh, whatever. Whoops.
And then you're just in your own way.
And there's a crocodile.
Yeah, there were no animals, unfortunately. My story didn't lead to. But it made me think of a deer trail for some reason.
With no deer on it.
No deer. Wilson was kind of hazardous.
He's an animal.
He's basically a wolf.
He was kind of pulling me around on the rocks on this steep slope. It was cute. We'd get to the bottom, and Elliot's like, I did it. Land Before Time has good music in it.
It does. Or at least it has evocative music, because I saw it when I was 5.
Has
and it like
enough.
I mean, it does. It's like a James Horner. It has good music in it.
There was this band I found called Morabeza Tobacco, and they're a European band. And they have this song called Ally McBeal. And it has this really surreal, just like orchestral sound, but it's just kind of a lo-fi song. And I found out they were inspired by Land Before Time on that track.
Whoa.
Huh.
And I was thinking, I was like, this is one of the most pretty string sections I've ever heard, and it's not even strings, but Swan Princess? What's Swan Princess?
It's another Bluth.
It's not. I don't think it's Bluth. It's just Bluthy.
Bluey.
Bluthy.
Didn't
So is it on Disney
Cynthia
Plus?
worked on
I think
that.
Cynthia did work
And
on
she
that.
hated it.
Yeah.
Wait, who's Cynthia? A teacher?
She was one of our professors at BYU.
Was it the work environment or the film that she hated?
I think both.
Yeah.
It didn't sound like she liked working at Bluth.
Oh yeah.
Or wherever it was.
Yeah.
That,
because she worked
that
on
was
that. I think if my animation knowledge is correct, that was Fox Animation before it just wasn't a thing. And
yeah, whatever did that.
Yeah, it made that.
I didn't
it
like
made
it.
Baldo. It made Quest for Camelot.
Richard
Oh,
Rich.
Quest for Camelot.
Right.
I remember.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember it very well.
I don't remember very well either. I only remember that Cynthia called it Quest for a Plot.
Who did Black Cauldron?
Disney.
Disney did that.
What, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All I remember from that movie is the big witch cleavage. That's all I remember.
Wait.
Sorry, folks.
Hold on. What was this song? Ally McBeal.
Ally McBeal by Morabeza Tobacco.
McBeal by...
And Morabeza is with a Z. Yeah. The vocals are a bit strange and distorted. But
All right.
it's really pretty.
Interesting. I'll have to listen to it and probably get weird feelings again.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like watching that movie.
You got me curious, though. But, I mean, I don't know. Tragedy in a movie isn't what entices me to watch a movie, though. But you said the paintings are scary.
The paintings are like...
The background paintings are scary.
The backgrounds are like dire. Because they're in like a... They don't have any water in there.
Oh, right.
Because they're trying to get to the Great Valley.
I just imagine... When I think of that movie, I imagine it being just like beautiful and majestic. And like... Yeah, like a wide view of a lush green earth for some reason.
Oh yeah, it's like dark.
It was very like I said, I was like, oh, these are... It's like... I mean, it is apocalyptic, I guess, for those little dinosaurs. But that's the vibe I was getting. Wait, Eliza, I think Dean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What is I think Dean?
I don't remember.
Richard Rich. Richie Rich.
Richard Rich.
Parents with a sense of humor.
Secret is a lot of animation production is rough, as far as like a lot of people have bad times on a lot of animation productions. I think it's just stressful.
I had a bad time animating today.
Same if I had done any of my work.
Right.
But
I animated a festival lineup. The aesthetic was collage, kind of. Just like kind of scrappy collage type thing. And I tried to animate every single piece of it, every single layer in After Effects. But I didn't even think about where everything was coming from. I was just like, just like pieces come into the frame and make it look stop motion. Yeah, you animate something in After Effects, you gotta really try hard to make it look stop motion.
Yeah.
Because it's just a smooth motion.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think about that. I just animated the whole thing, and I watched it back, and I was like,
yeah, like, oh my gosh.
That was 3 hours of my life wasted. So, anyway, that sucked, you guys.
Yeah, you have
Welcome to animation.
You have my condolences, because I know exactly how that goes.
Yeah. But I learned my lesson, I guess. I shortened it to where not everything goes into the frame. It's just like the pieces moving now.
Dean kept coming up instead of Swan. What?
But it still looks weird, so I don't know. Because it's After Effects, and I don't know how to make things look natural in After Effects.
Oh, like all the little things.
Yeah. It could be the frame rate.
Yeah.
And the
Just
movement.
wiggling.
They're just wiggling.
You're at the very bottom. Whoa.
Is it trying to read the lineup to you? That's interesting.
That's a crazy effect. It's like a halo effect on the text. Yeah, Tomper's at the very end.
There we are.
Okay.
It just looks really unnatural. It doesn't look like stop motion. Like,
yeah, it's.
Oh, it's fine, but
I mean, yeah, it's like a little like.
I just think the frame rate could change. Maybe.
so.
I think I gotta chop it up, roughen it up a little,
Wait,
and just.
how do I get back to the beginning? Let's go back to the beginning, all the way back, and then.
We're talking animation. You guys can't see anything. I had a hard day, and I'm in between two animators right now. Yeah, I got in the car after making that, and I was so sad.
I don't know. I don't think it's half bad.
Okay, thanks.
Honestly.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Especially for that sort of a thing. It doesn't.
It's just supposed to be eye-catching. It's the content concept. Thanks for empathizing with me, chat.
Yeah.
I need that. You know, Elliot says "aw." He goes "aw." Like if I like cuddle Wilson, he's like "aw," because he cuddles his little doggy, you know. And I always say "aw." I had to build that flyer in like a day, and creating like a brand for a festival in a day is like so weird. But the artist highlights kind of turned out cool because they're like collaged in, and there's like ripped paper and stickers, and like it's okay, it's all right. But like, dude, these artists, these are TikTok musicians, basically. They're like TikTok pop stars. It's not in my wheelhouse. When they asked me to play the festival, it's like, you sure about that? Yeah.
Honestly, I just said this, but I think it looks great.
Well, thanks.
I was like gonna look at it and be like, well, I do this all the time.
Yeah.
I'll sure give him the best advice, but I'm like looking at him like, I don't know, it's just.
I think it's.
Yeah.
That's relieving.
Yeah, it has
is.
like that like.
Yeah.
Clean After Effects weirdness, but
It's like it's just like the quick little cutout feel like. I mean, if you can make it look
more jittery, stop motion.
more jitter if you really want to, but like like it's Sesame Street and they're moving the papers with their hands.
I had to make all the assets digital. We thought about just doing everything by hand. Like, I mean, essentially what you see was done by hand, like everything. Like the background was from a film photograph I took. The logo was hand drawn, and then digitally drawn, I guess. But, and then yeah, those stickers were scanned, and every single name on there was scanned in and cut out.
But do you know what stepped animation is?
No.
So it's where it doesn't, instead of naturally trying to like ease in all of it and like smooth it out for you, it's like just cut.
It's like what stop motion is.
Yeah.
You
should be able to do it.
If we had you don't have After Effects, do you?
I don't
Okay.
have After Effects.
Anyway, if we had it, I could show you how to do it.
Use it a lot in doing 3D animation when you're like trying to figure it out, because it also will naturally try and like smooth it. But you do that and it just goes from
point A to point B,
frame to frame. It doesn't try and do anything in between.
Yeah.
And so it's helpful for like figuring stuff out.
Yeah. Again, I wish if we had it, I could show you.
It's okay. Another time.
Yeah, that's okay. But I mean, I think it looks fine.
Thanks, y'all.
But yeah.
Who had a hard day?
Bradley, we'll look at your animation next.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, Bradley. You are between two animators. They're in between both your ears right now. I mean, they're on you're anyway.
Bradley.
Nice.
When
Got the email. I was wearing my ginger root shirt today.
oh my gosh. It's starting to get. Problem is starting to get late, but it's also problem is it's fun.
It's been fun.
It has been fun.
It is time for me to go.
Yeah, it's pretty late.
Work.
Yeah,
Oh, you do?
there's like we've gone like a little bit past like hitting the wall.
I took a nap though.
Hold on, Bradley. I didn't think through that one, but I was gonna say we need like when Bradley comes, we need a heavy duty topic, a serious topic again, one of those.
A really intense one.
Yeah.
What'd you do last time?
Movies.
But before that, we did like all our string of people with their various aesthetic
grumpy
theories.
Old men.
Yeah.
Complaining about things.
That's all. So now, sorry, we can go home and go to bed. After Tolstoy, after the author Leo Tolstoy, and he's like, man, there are so many theories about art. We can't even scratch the surface. And now, every time I hear a new one, I'm just like, oh yeah, theory about art.
Because he spends like the first like chapter summarizing like all the different aesthetic philosophies and then just like ripping them up.
Yeah.
He's like, these suck.
I love it when a guy can roast on things like that.
He roasts everything
But
ever.
if you can successfully shut it down and convince me, it's welcome.
He does a pretty good job.
Yeah, he's
like, I don't know how much I'm like 100% on his side about things, but like there's so much where I'm like, yeah, he's probably right about this. He's got a really good point here.
You can have a healthy amount of cynicism
yeah.
that drives you to have a pretty good life, I think. Oh, slap happy phase. I'm about there.
We got slap. We were slap happy like a little while ago. We were pretty.
Yeah.
There was that like.
I might be burning out.
We were all just kind of giggling for like 5 minutes.
About billboards.
Books. Yeah, everyone pick your pet topic. Although, I think loyalty wise, Ames has actually been on. Probably just after Eliza. So,
Probably.
Yeah. As far as loyal, in the chatter people. My gosh.
Oh, you know what you could talk about with Bradley?
What?
You could talk about people that are not in your life anymore for no particular reason. Just kidding.
That's not aesthetic. Why has Bradley lost people for no particular reason?
Aesthetic. No, I mean like, you know.
Bradley, it's too late.
Sometimes friends aren't friends anymore and there's no reason why.
Oh. Wait.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't.
Did Bradley do that to you?
You could talk. Oh, you don't want to talk about books.
Does Bradley know
that wouldn't be fun. Oh, I actually would love Ames talking about autism. That'd be
I was
fun.
gonna say Hello Kitty.
Yeah.
Dude, we could
or both, just like kind of jump back and forth.
I mean, sure. But
subtweet.
What's a subtweet?
Do you guys know? You don't know what a subtweet
is?
is?
I don't know what a subtweet is.
So,
dude, I don't.
In high school, there's this thing when you're on Twitter, because everybody was on Twitter when I was in high school, and if you wanted someone to know something but you didn't have the guts to tell them, you just kind of say it on your Twitter. You just kind of tweet it as if you're talking to them. but it's kind of manipulative sounding. Like it's meant for them. I don't know. It's weird.
And
Sounds
that's what a
very
subtweet is.
passive-aggressive.
Yeah, it's passive aggressive. Like, I've had my fair share of subtweets, and I'm sure I've been subtweeted at. Sub X now? Oh my gosh, because of
X.
Twitter. Oh my gosh, the new
Yeah.
Twitter logo.
Oh, this has.
Do they call it X now?
Yeah, it's x.com.
That's really weird.
It's .gov.
Is it?
No, sorry. That's a home.
just kidding.
X.gov.
That's a Homestar.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, stock up. Homestar reference. See, I'll get some of those references.
It's called
Homestar10.com. It's .gov.
Got an email from a female. That's what I understand from Homestar. I understand strong bad.
Bradley, you're just being outrageous. Dude, we should talk about that has more liquid in it than I thought. You get to watch tea clean up. Is it on screen?
Yep.
Rats. It's not very flattering. Yeah. Distract them with like some lynchness over there. I'm actually gonna do tea cleanup over here. No. We can talk about, is it called what is Hello Kitty? Centauro, Sanrino,
Sanrio.
San Rafael, San Diego, San Rio.
San Juan.
Dude, we should just talk about like the wiggity weird, like what even is Japan?
What is Japan? That's the whole topic.
That's cool.
Where do these cute things come from? Are they all actually Moomins?
Is Japan actually just the moon?
No.
I'm gonna accidentally cut the tablecloth.
This is like, I feel like I'm like
Yeah, it was. It was Demon
Look
Sounds.
at all that seaweed.
Whoa! That's crazy looking.
Wait, everyone, look at the seaweed. It doesn't look as cool in there.
No.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about.
Cute stuff.
Hello Kitty, and Ames gets to be you're gonna be like the kid, like pressing your nose up in the glass while we having fun.
You guys could talk about the Real Housewives episode 1 of Salt Lake City. You could watch episode 1.
We're like, whatever stage of capitalism led to this.
I don't know what you guys would talk about. I don't know what I would talk about, really. It's like, what do you talk about? Their drama?
Oh, with the housewives.
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You talk about the editing of the show.
That's what we do. Just like, what did I just? Just like eat a leaf.
You just ate a leaf.
I mean, you can, I guess.
That's kind of how Elliot was acting when he ate a sandwich today, and he pulled a piece of lettuce out of his mouth.
And
He's like, "The heck is this?"
Yeah, he was like, "Do you guys see this?
He's like, "Did you know this was in my sandwich?"
Should we call the police?"
I'm like, "Dude, that was in there, and it's covered in mayo and mustard, and you're gonna love it. Just eat it." No, but like, if he notices it's in there, if he doesn't notice it, he's fine. But if he really particularly notices it, he pulls it out.
There's a green thing in there.
Yeah, and the way he looks, he's like got this shocked, disgusted look on his face, and he pulls it out, and it's like long. And he pulls it out kind of slow, and he's like watching it as it's coming out of his mouth.
What? I liked your suggestions. I liked all of them. We're doing all of them. Maybe except for, maybe not the Housewives one. That doesn't, I don't like the sound of that. But we haven't done Japan in, every other thing has to be about Japan.
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
Yeah, we have to get back to Japan, so we might as well, whatever. We do different eras of anime and how they look.
Have you covered Takanaka?
No. We could have today, but then we didn't.
We could have today.
I had a
Well,
picture
just
of
real
him. He was
quick,
on the thumbnail.
For heaven's sakes.
Takanaka came out on stage in, I think, the year 2000 in a show in Tokyo with a surfboard guitar, you guys. It was the actual size of a giant surfboard. And he's ripping on it. He's playing this guitar solo on the song. What song is it? Beleza Pula?
I think so.
Beleza Pula. And the crowd is all smiles. And Takanaka is all smile, dude. And he's got shades, grinning ear to ear. And he's just ripping.
That's what's on the thumbnail.
Yeah. And the tones
Oh, hey.
on that guitar were pretty good because guess what? Tones are in the hands. Because that guitar, there's no way it sounds as good as he made it sound.
But for the real master, it's just an extension, isn't it?
It is. For him, it is.
Just an extension.
It looks so heavy,
of
dude.
his skill.
It probably was really heavy.
Yeah, it's lower left, and it is the surfboard. Please look up Takanaka Beleza Pula surfboard, and if you search that, you're gonna see an 11-minute video of some of the most fun music you've ever seen in your life. There's a guy playing the cuica. That's amazing. The sound of the cuica on that song, it brings joy to my soul. See, this is what I should have been talking about earlier. Before midnight. Yeah. Go watch that. The music speaks for itself. It makes you feel alive. It's very much a summer tune, so
He's a summer guy.
he is a summer guy. All of his records have like a blue sky on it. So that's kind of my vibe. He's
like, it's like very much like, it's like vacation music.
very Brazilian, right? Very Brazilian sounding.
If you want to feel like you're on a, like almost like a Caribbean vacation for a bit, listen to his music.
I'm big on luxurious sounding music or just relaxing music like that.
It's relaxing and but also like exciting.
Also exciting. Like it makes you want to drive in a convertible on a coastal highway. And any song that makes me want to do that is a good song. Chicken Fried makes me want to do that. You know? Zach Brown Band? Is that who it was? Anyway. Lounge music is also very good. Bossa Nova is very good. I gotta put you onto this Molly Lewis record. Molly Lewis is a whistler. Because I'm on a podcast, I'm gonna plug Molly Lewis. She's a whistler. She's a professional whistler, but she collaborates with insanely talented musicians. And let me tell you, the tones are in their hands. They made a beautiful record called, excuse me. Molly Lewis. On the Lips. With tracks called On the Lips, Lounge Lizard, Crushed Velvet, Slinky, Moontan, Silhouette. Yeah, great record. At the beginning, she advises you to wear silk or velvet and to turn down your lights and to enjoy the music with no distractions. And I recommend you do the same. I told my friend to do it, and he said it wasn't really his cup of tea. And then he said it might be appropriate for his date that night. And I was like, is it a first date? Because I don't know if it's first date music. Might be second or third or fourth date music. But
And you're like, do you both have silk?
yeah, see, exactly.
Do you both have...
See, these kinds of questions you don't ask on the first date is like, can we wear velvet? Can we wear silk? Can we turn the lights low? I mean, maybe you can. I don't judge. But
What do you freaking call those in England?
what are you talking about? Is this like a...
If you're a very... just because, like I said, I was looking at those clubs. And if you are a rich dude in England and you wear very subtle things during the day, at night you get to wear like the silliest, most comfy looking bathrobes ever invented, and they look so great. But they call them something silly because it's England.
Oh, right, of course. It's
Yeah.
like doesn't make any sense. It's like
What are they
gibberish,
called?
and then everybody believes it. You know, Ames, it sounds like you're always ready to listen to this record. This record could be for you. It's kind of the opposite of K-pop, just a warning. It's like the exact opposite.
Wait, what's
It's
it
like
called?
some of the most like chill, mindful music I've ever heard. But it's Molly Lewis' album is called On the Lips.
I wasn't gonna look it up because I already have like 16 things. But then,
Right.
But then the little thing, I was like, hey, I want to turn down the lights and.
It's music that sounds expensive. There's saxophone, there's all kinds of percussion, like auxiliary percussion elements. There's bossa nova elements, there's Brazilian elements, there's Latin rhythms, there's oh yeah, her whistling is good. I mean, but if whistling's not your thing, like it's not your thing. You know? I like her. I think she's got a clean tone.
Good whistling is pretty good.
Good whistling, I think, is pretty good, but my whistling around the house while I'm cleaning is probably not.
I mean, it might be. Don't sell yourself too short. All right.
Well, thanks. But I mean, comparatively, she actually went to a competition and she didn't win. She lost to another guy. In a national competition, national whistling competition.
Whistling competition.
My daughter won't let me sing.
Really? She doesn't like your singing?
No. She said, oh, no. She said, no dance of you mouth.
No dance of your mouth.
Yeah, no dance of you mouth.
No dance of your mouth. Don't dance with your mouth.
Yeah. I was pretty sad, but also it was super cute.
Oh, well, I'm glad Piper doesn't think my whistling's annoying.
All right.
Thanks, Piper. What about me singing the same line over and over all the time, Piper?
I'm gonna go watch this.
I do that. I was dancing in the lesbian bar to Elliot 500 times yesterday. In the first bar, things were okay. But in this bar, things are going my way. In the first bar, things were just okay. In this bar, things are going my way. And I was dancing in the lesbian bar. Ooh.
It's actually that good.
Oh, Molly Lewis. Yeah. You know, you kind of got to be in the mood. I mean, that's why she has instructions at the beginning. Because she's like, this is not... Oh, my buddy that said it wasn't his cup of tea, he put it on while he was driving. It's like, no, dude, there's instructions at the beginning. You know, like you don't...
It's not meant for driving.
No dance of your mouth. No dance of your mouth. Yeah. Yep. I agree with that. You guys, you give me a microphone, I'll go all night. I'm just waiting for Philip to turn off the mic.
Dressing gowns.
Dressing gown.
Dressing gowns?
But for men, let's see.
More like ranch dressing gowns.
Oh my gosh. Like this guy here.
Yeah, why are they mean? Why is she not like your
Am I
singing?
supposed to?
Oh,
yeah. Wear that?
Yes, actually. Do you have one?
No, but I can get one if I need to. You know,
No, I mean pajamas works, or like.
But
I mean,
wearing
her thing is like she would play these small clubs around Hollywood, and she would do it. She would call it Cafe Molly, and she would invite people to dress up for these shows. So it would be like a 150 to like 300 capacity club, right? And she's asking people to dress up, and like she decks out the whole venue, and she has a whole band and backup singers and a percussionist as well as a drummer. And synth going or whatever. So, nylon string guitar, the goods.
Philip, I kind of washed out the teapot, but...
You kind of did.
Well, when I say I kind of, I mean...
Do you have like a whole
There's still
thing to put all of your tea stuff in?
No, I need something.
You need like a tea basket.
I do. I honestly do. Well, I need Philip to find at the DI some like marvelous box. Because he can find marvelous boxes, but I can never find.
Is that what they call them in England?
I need to
Get on your dressing gown.
And grab your marvelous box.
Grab your marvelous
and
box.
we're already 15 minutes late, so let's get out of here.
Enough of this
I'll keep
ballyhoo.
my eye. I need to go to
Ballyhoot.
DI this week.
Yeah,
I need
and find me a marvelous
I need
box.
a picture frame that I can fit one of these.
One of the burbs.
Which I don't currently have a frame that size. And last time I went, they did not have.
I do,
good.
and I have it hanging up in my
I know,
house.
You have one.
It looks great. Speaking of going to DI, I've gone to DI with my buddy Vic, and he's 10 years older than me, and he's been smoking weed a long time as well. So whenever I join in with him and go to DI, it is crazy. And it's a regular occurrence for him. Like, he goes to DI, and you know, he's an animator, right? He animates like stop motion, like claymation, puppet animation stuff. And he goes straight to the kids section. And he spends like a half hour just like going through toys. And he's putting him in his cart cuz he's imagining how he can manipulate his stuff. And I never get anything cuz I have no clue what's going on. But we go in his van, and in his van he has his aux cord is like Bluetooth to a car karaoke.
Yeah.
And so he gives you this karaoke machine when you're riding passenger. And the road he takes to DI, it like you have to yield at every crossroad.
Yeah.
And I've told you about this, I think. But so he's yielding at every crossroad, and it kind of freaks me out, you know? And like he's having me talk to him through this karaoke microphone, and he puts on this Jock Jams CD, which is like basketball music for kids in the 90s.
Yeah.
And it was insane, dude. It was actually quite good. But like the weirdest like dance tracks from the 90s that are very familiar for some reason. But like with basketball sounds over the top. And it's just like blaring.
And but you've got a karaoke thing, so do you have to sing along? You have to be like pump up.
I'm like talking to him, and it just like it's like very hypey, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like a little bit weird.
What are these adventures Tom gets to go on?
No, it's because of Vic, dude. He's weird. He's like a kid. Like you walk into his house and there's toys everywhere. And he just like makes like Beatles sounding songs, and he makes stop motion animations. He made a claymation Donnie Benet, and he gave it to Donnie Benet, and Donnie just like kind of throws it like to the side, and I was like, oh no. But yeah, anyway. I've gone to DI with Vic a few times now, and it's kind of crazy every time. It's pretty fun. Like he always gets like a musical instrument there. Like he found 2 keyboards. They're like crappy keyboards.
Yeah.
Elliot has it now, but they were taped in a pair, and he's like, Tom, we have to get these. They're in a pair. And it was $10 each, but he convinced the lady at the counter to give them to us both for just 10.
Yeah.
And get this, he records like almost every interaction he has with the clerk while he's checking out with the cash register person. And he plays these recordings on a radio show, dude. And he makes music over the top of it. And he like plays these soundscapes with like interactions with freaking like these people that work at DI, and it's amazing. It's really quite funny. More stories for later, but I'm gonna go home.
I need to sleep.
I need to sleep too. Good night, y'all.
I'll be here all night. It's time for Late Night Casey Radio. We're gonna do some improv jazz. We're about to listen to some improv jazz. Welcome to that. And you bitches, there's never been a bit of sheet music. Ever. No sheet music. Sheet music is Satan. Yeah, and that was Don Marino from his excellent 2013 album.
Live performance recorded.
Just kidding, he didn't record it, but it's
Somebody else did.
It sounded something like that.
yeah.
This is a double bootleg.
I recorded it. If he finds out, he'll kill me. I've been on the run for years.
And then Vic chimes in and he's like, this is a trip to Lagoon mixed with an interaction I had with someone at DI 9 years ago with some dance music I wrote over the top.
Man. Yeah, I haven't spilled... Well, I've spilled a little tea tonight, but not like to this...
Not like me.
Not where I like... Yeah. Not where I like scald myself and accidentally throw the teapot across the room, which has happened like 5 or 6 times. It's because now I've learned that the top of the teapot is hot. I kept grabbing this.
Thanks for the kind words, you guys. You don't need to talk me out.
Alright.
Yeah. The hype man don't need no hype.
It's already there.
Yeah, the hype man has his own hype. Alright, bye.
Bye. Bye, bye.
The hyping happens.
Ugh.
Where are you gonna get what'd you call a basket again?